All right, we are live. It it was spinning and spinning and spinning. I couldn't get the other one to go. So I'm gonna give it a minute here for anyone that was waiting on the other one to hop on this one, maybe. Man, I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I wish I knew what happened. But yeah, for those joining or seeing this, in replay mode, sorry for the little delay here as I'm waiting. Um, it th- this is a little crazy. I don't even know what I'm about to do. I don't know. I don't know what's about to happen. Um, but yeah, hold on. Can I share this? Yeah. All right. Oh boy. Such a crazy time. I don't know, maybe everyone's going live or a lot is happening. Uh, did, Justin Baldoni, Brian Friedman, Blake Lively just broke the internet, and Ryan Reynolds because he's mentioned a lot. I like I said, I don't even know what I'm about to get into. I just saw so my friend texted me last night. Literally, I was in bed about to fall asleep, and I checked my phone. Um, because I wasn't falling asleep. And she texted like, "Oh, he amended Justin released an amendment containing the metadata." So I'm like, "Okay, sorry, okay, that's cool." And part of me is like, "Oh, I want to go, online really quickly to say that." I'm glad that I waited because, woo, we got so much more than that. And remember how yesterday if you joined us yesterday, I was going through Business Insiders. I was curious about the sentiment to Blake and to Justin before all of this. And they had a little bit, well, they included some of that too, but not that particular, and even better, like a huge timeline to show when exactly, according to their data. Um, and I'm curious who they referenced or what they referenced. Um, yeah. So I'm sure people are going to come in and out because I think this is going to be long. I'm going to skip everything in the lawsuit, obviously, that we've already read, but I don't know what's new because there's like page 200 something. There's a new amendment, a whole new section, 100 new pages or so. But then that they added throughout. I'm going to share actually. Yeah, let's see. Which one is it? I have like a bunch of things open. Okay. Um, I'm going to share the link here. You can follow along there. I'm going to see if I can share my screen for this one because this is a lot of reading, a lot of referencing, and why not try that right now? Let's see. Um, okay, cool. A lot of settings that I never set up. Um, Okay, so let's see. I am sharing this one. Okay. Ooh, my first time. Okay, but I need to see. How is this going to work? No. Okay. So I won't be able to really see the chat. I'll check in periodically to the chat. But okay. Whew. So this is I believe, yeah, well, okay, so this is a completely new filing. Like I said, there's a lot of things that are amended inside what was originally, and then things that are added. I'm going to skip this part. This is this more like lawsuit? Because I don't see complaint on here. It says civil action number. Oh, is this? Oh, wait. Oh, this is consolidated already between the two of them? Okay, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not even an actor. I did a little bit of acting. I'm not a filmmaker. I'm more of a filmmaker than an actor. What else? Disclaimers. I'm just a person that's really invested in this, that has a little bit of experience in the film world stuff, and that's why it hit hard, like, it hit my heart a little bit with what was happening in his lawsuit, especially, and his claims, that I was curious about that. I'm also a woman who's interested, like, what is going on, what is going on? And so, yeah, but I'm gonna skip this introduction. I'll look later to see if there's anything different in here. I don't think it is. I think it's safe to assume that most of this is the same. Excuse me, because of like, it's just generally, like, from what I read, it's like an introduction and then they go more in depth. I don't know if they follow that. Colleen Hoover's, or Justice Letter to Colleen Hoover, we read that. Um this kind of looks new. So this is from Colleen to Justin. Thank you for your email. I wasn't expect. Okay, yeah. So this one we read. Um, I've watched two films last night and immediately started the book yesterday. And then from CF, so I've done a lot of research and thought Rachel did. Oh, okay. Nope, never mind. This was in the last one too. Okay, yeah. Have you given enough thought to be um, the main person? So Lively even felt comfortable enough to make silly jokes. So that's the suppository. I'm really just scanning for any new screenshots or evidence in this particular section, because there's a lot after that page 200. But they also included the main metadata part in this section before. She's fixing the script. And they added some. Oh, I love that they added so much context. This is, I think, new. I'm sorry if you catch it that it's not, that it is new, and I'm just skimming it. I don't want to waste too much time on, like, the old stuff. Um, get Is this new? No, this is the okay. This is Dawn the trainer. This was okay. So because, gosh, they needed to convince me a little. They added some stuff to this, a lot more context and evidence, because the dates were different. So I didn't really understand what was it supposed to prove, just because, I mean, maybe to people who know that, oh, you have to go 50% intensity and all that stuff, but we didn't see specifically, like, hey, yeah, because you have, this issue or this injury. And I wonder if they added that part in it. Let's see. You'll hear a lot of auto today, I think, if this phone catches it. Also, this should work today. I finally figured that out. I know I saw some things that were like, I'm sorry this is taking so long. I saw some things that were added in here. And this is the cut stuff. Did they change, like, carriers or something? Why is, the green bubbles for iPhone users? Um, okay. I think this was there before, maybe, and I missed it, or this is new. So let me read this. On November 9th, 2023, with the tentative resolution. So this is wait, we are writing to address how to handle a return to set. So that's November 9th, 2023. And then the nudity rider was May 8th, 2023. Hello, I hope you had a good weekend. Attaching here Blake's nudity writer for your review. Again, sorry, this is old news to everyone. Has been approved by SAG intimacy coordinator. Apologies for the rush job, but please note we need this signed by tomorrow. Reserving customary rights. I look forward to hearing from you shortly. Kind regards. Everything's like blacked out. So May 8th, 2023. Did they start? When did they start production? They have, I think they have a timeline eventually, but it was still early enough. And maybe they hadn't started production with Blake, right? Because they had focused on getting like the younger characters first. So, oops, sorry. Let me try to prevent that because I'm on a Mac and oh no, sorry, hold on. Um, okay, so we were on page somewhere around here. But yeah, I think that's why that happened. Okay, and then oh, okay. Goes on from Lively's counsel to Wayfair. Hi, do you have written approval for the intimacy coordinator for the exhibit that you can share? And May 10th. Wait, what? Confirmation for blank attached here. Let me know if you need anything else at the moment. Oh, I guess they needed that before signing. And here's the file. EML. Okay. Although the presence of the intimacy coordinator is not a Screen Actors Guild rule, but rather a recommendation, Baldoni was eager to have one from the start to ensure talent and himself included felt safe. I mean, think about this too. I would say whether or not this happened, just a side note, like as a man, you would want this, you would want an intimacy coordinator unless you have other, ideas, but to feel safe from exactly, so no one can say, oh, this was, in an unsafe condition. So I think both sides want to feel safe. I think that's absolutely um like super valid to talk about or to reiterate. Felt safe during intimate scenes. It was important to him to have that, be a woman, of course, to help craft these scenes that would speak to the mostly female audience of the book. Given both Lively and Reynolds' first-hand knowledge of these facts, Lively's insistence in her November 9th, 2023 uh, demands kind of letter thing was baffling. However, because Wayfair had already engaged in intimacy coordinate. Okay, so talking. Any other dates? No. Okay. Um, and then here's that her. Again, I wanna see, did they include when she actually did meet with the intimacy coordinator, or was it just him having to tell her? I mean, what? I would feel uncomfortable, like, "Yeah, this is what the intimacy coordinator proposed," or, that is so messed up if that's what happened in the end. Um, I don't know on which side, but yeah. Um, okay, so July 5th, 2023. This was Happy Fourth. We read this before, but just wanted to reiterate that. Very confused what's going on here. Escrow was made in good faith, and we still don't have a signed. I just learned about this whole escrow stuff. Well, and by learn, I mean I just heard and understood like a seedling of it. But basically, they wanted to have the money to be paid more or less, to have the money in escrow even though they didn't sign their contract, is what they say. Mm. When you have like a big star, of course you assume that in good faith they will, you know respect the contract even if they didn't sign it, but however, like, you should sign it. um and there is, I remember for business law school, like, there is also an implicit contract, or I forget what it's called, but basically if one person starts doing the work, the contract starts. So if she started acting, like, it's kind of like, well, you were under contract. But I don't know if I'm not a lawyer, so I think there were probably other things. Um, okay, we read this stuff. We read this. I remember the little highlights. It was such an interesting odd memory. Um, oh, this is wait, what? Um, and I had a great chat the other day, and he let me know you'd like to come into the edit before you leave for your film. Oh, we did read this too. Okay. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. So this seems like it's more of the same. It's kind of the same stuff. I'm sorry. Maybe the only thing that they included was that metadata thing. So let me skip ahead. I'm so sorry. Um, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if this is too slow, and I'm sorry if this is too fast. I don't even know. I'm trying my best. But you do have the link in the chat too. Um, yeah, the book con conversation. I wonder if that was that secret recording. That's what it made me think that it was that, you know, it was at the book con. Okay, so here's like the new stuff or some new stuff. So this was this was our marketing document basically. And then, good morning, team. I was thinking about the response this weekend, and I feel like what we should do is make sure to emphasize the voices of the survivors. And this is August 11th. It's gonna be a lot of. I feel like now, looking back, knowing as much as we know so far, and we're about to find out so much more. This message is like that person that was ostracized from the group, or is like not the leader of the group, but it's like, hey guys, like maybe we should go in this direction. Maybe remember, that we need to emphasize the voices of survivors. Just being really diplomatic. And also at the same time, it's still his movie. His name is attached to it. And also, probably, I don't know if he at this point still cared about how they look or not, but either way, like he's still attached to it. So, one way or another, he cares. And yeah. Throughout this period, Reynolds and Lively continued to leave breadcrumbs in their campaign for mocking and bullying Baldoni. On July 26th, maybe this was before, I didn't see it. The film Deadpool and Wolverine premiered starring Reynolds. The film contained a new character named Nice Pool, also portrayed by Reynolds. Reynolds portrayed Nice Pool as a vicious caricature of a woke feminist before concluding the character's arc with his violent shooting death at the hands of Lady Poole, a character voiced by Blake Lively. Upon um, Wait, did they include that it was in front of a of a flower shop? That scene, upon information and belief, the night school scenes were added to the movie and filmed in January 2024. Oh, interesting. After the January 4th confrontation in Reynolds and Lively's apartment, and were intended to be a transparent mocking portrayal of Reynolds' warped perception of Baldoni. I mean, that's easy to understand. When someone doesn't understand someone who's like kind or nice or whatever, even if they're not a bad person themselves, but they're just like expecting other people to be bad. Yeah, you have that warped perception. Nice Pool commented inappropriately on a female character's attractive body after childbirth and excused his remark by claiming he identified as a feminist. Nice Pool also made reference to an intimacy coordinator, like so many times, and even used a hairstyle that mirrored Baldoni's previously longer hair. This is further borne out by the fact that in the credits for It Ends With Us, Lively expressly thanked Gordon Reynolds, yeah, the false name that Reynolds used for his credit for portraying Niceville. I mean, didn't they just like, what were they thinking when they did that? Obviously they weren't. They were not thinking it would go this far in this particular way, but if they didn't do that, it would have been a little less obvious, but it's I don't know. Wow. Yeah, and they showed the screenshot. And like I said, in IMDb, and I don't think I can share, the way that I have the sharing doesn't work, but if you go to IMDb at It Ends With Us, if you scroll all the way down, or you can, like, control F or command F to find Gordon Reynolds, and it's in there as Ryan Reynolds. So very clear. Um, and then, yeah, in Deadpool, excuse me, he has that as well. Um, so while in Sweden celebrating his wife's birthday, Baldoni was informed that Lively demanded he not attend the film's premiere. Lively further threatened that if Baldoni attended the premiere, she and the majority of the cast would boycott. It remained unclear what Lively had communicated to or promised the cast, but they now also refused to attend if Baldoni was present. The fact that Sony advised Wayfair to concede underscores Lively and Reynolds' immense power and influence. I think that was there before. Um, but yeah, this threat marked the culmination of a year-long campaign of intimidation, harassment, and civil extortion. Don't remember that part being in there the last time. I don't know. It took 3 days for me to read the initial lawsuit, and it ended up being 10 hours in the video ending video. So, but that's like just straight shooting, intimidation, harassment, and civil extortion. Wow. Although objectively egregious and shocking, the Wayfarer team had unfortunately grown accustomed to the bullying, fully aware of the immense power this couple wielded and the far reaching extent of their influence. Can you imagine, like, whoever started the public leaking? It's just really hard to imagine that Justin did, but can you imagine all the behind the scenes that could have gone completely unnoticed that we now know? So, yeah, we've seen this part. We've seen the um like basement or whatever. Yeah, that's his mom, by the way, in the corner there. And Blake's post, I think, which one was, because I didn't do this at all for the first one. I didn't do a screen share and stuff, but there was one. This one I think hurt a lot. Like, if audiences, this was after BookCon and the screening of the movie, they had a special screening. If audiences had half the amount of fun we did, we're gonna put theme parks out of business. In 20 years of doing this, I don't think I've ever experienced anything quite like surprising 2,500 fans with an early preview of It Ends With Us movie. To everyone who showed up in their floral jeans alongside us, including Brandon Sklenar, jeans handmade by me and Isabella Ferrer, Colleen Hoover being mother in it. I don't, oh gosh, when did that start? Who started that phrase? In every way, turning it out for everyone at Book Bonanza. Like, but Colleen and Blake, I think they matched so well in their vision of this book and this movie and everything. Ryan and Blake have all the subtlety of a sledgehammer. Yep, exactly. Yeah. And I guess that's because they feel like they can get away with it, right? But it's like, how can you get to that point where you're just, and then you claim age and then you do that? Like, it's just, are you in reality? Are you based in reality at all? Are you grounded in reality? Like, or you're just like completely in a different world, like people often say about celebrities. um I think they assumed this was in the bag for them, just didn't back down, caught them off guard. Yeah, too confident. Someone said in one of their videos or lives that yesterday that, they should, or maybe, yeah, I don't know, that shouldn't have Blake's team. Like, lawyers tend to look to see, hey, if we sue these people, if we, mess with these people legally, who's backing them up, how much money do they have, and all that stuff. And maybe that it wasn't as clear, but I mean, whatever his name is, I forget, Sachs or something. Um, he's a co-owner of Wayfair, not just an investor or whatnot. So, um, yeah, I don't know, but Maybe because, like someone said, I think my friend said, like, maybe because Justin has been so nice throughout this whole process and they got away with so much already. And by the end of it, they thought, oh, we'll get away with everything. Look at this. Like, he's just letting us do whatever we want. I will say that the grab your friends, wear your florals, I don't know. Right now, it's like getting too old. But the way that she said, big summer, what was it? Big summer, beautiful summer movie or something. Mhm. Okay. Is this new? No. Okay. Is this the Daily Mail? Oh my gosh. This part of the I wish that there were two different lawsuits because this part of the lawsuit, oh, it confuses me so much. Um, I don't think any of this is new. Morning, I just got this, going to speak. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Um, I wish you could see my parakeet too. She's just sleeping on my laptop. Is this new? Oh, no, this is like, hey, we got this handled or something, right? First of all, I wanted to say thank you for the call we had a couple of days ago. I know it wasn't easy, so I'm so appreciative that you trust me enough to be vulnerable, honest, and for us to ah, and for us to have a real conversation about our working relationship. Oh, I think this is new. Sorry, I keep moving. Um, I know you are currently going through a lot with work, personal life, and your health. And the last thing I want to do is to add to that. So this is from Stephanie, no, or from Jennifer Abel to Stephanie Jones on July 26, 2024. So right at the end there. I know you are currently going through a lot with work, personal life, and your health. And the last thing I want to do is to add to that. Wow, I this is ADHD, or whatever, and like you just saw it. I hope you know me well enough by now that no matter how dramatic I can be, I really do strive to make work life easier on you and take as much as possible off your plate. Since I resigned, I have been doing a lot of thinking about what I want with my career. I may have quit under unforeseen circumstances, but these past 2 weeks, I have really taken a step back to reevaluate what I want for next steps. I really do believe that everything happens for a reason, and I wanted to really reflect on why things continue to escalate between the two of us and why I was constantly feeling like I was letting you down. Sorry, I just had this moment of like I know where she's coming from. Like that's such a nice, reach for like let's communicate. Let's figure this out. And although you could also read this as like, oh, she was just using this, for this reason or that reason, too. And yeah, that's possible. Um, where was I? I know I have things to work on as well with my communication, and this whole situation has been a good learning moment for me on the ways I need to improve how I get my point across. With all of this said, the facts remain. I respect you immensely. I feel so grateful for the opportunities you have given me with your premier clients and how you have lifted me up as your partner. I would not have had the opportunity to be in many of the rooms that I have been in without the opening, without you opening the door. So I'm going to scroll up a little bit. This company you have built is exceptional, and I hold our teams with the highest regard. I know I didn't do it by myself, but I do take pride in what I have contributed to your LA office, excuse me, and the team I have been building and managing over the past 4 years, along with the new clients and opportunities I have procured. I do feel it's necessary at this point that I continue to move forward with my resignation. I say this with heavy heart, yet with excitement that I can take everything that I have learned from you as I start on this new path with my own business. I know this path won't be easy, but I hope I can keep you in my life as a mentor. a friend, and a close confidant because I truly view you as family and would be lost without your support. I want to assure you, however, I can, that unlike those who have burned you in the past, that there is not 1 ounce of ill will here. I have left a company before with grace and with my relationships intact, and that's what I fully plan on and hope for. Order to plan, I will need to stick with my previous in order to plan. I will need to stick with my previous communicated end date of August 23rd, which I hope is plenty of time to ensure a smooth transition for all. I thank you again for the most amazing time here at JW, and I look forward to our relationship continuing in this new capacity. Thank you again for understanding and your support. With love, Jennifer. I mean, you can read this in so many different ways. You can read this as she's just doing it to like cover her butt. You can read this as she's like she said she left a previous company with grace and with intact relationship, so like just wanting to do the same kind of come together at the end even though they had some issues in the past and so forth. I'm curious, like out of the new clients, how many were her additions, like her efforts, because did she take the clients with her that were hers? Yes, like maybe contractually and legally, maybe you could see it like, well, it was still under this contract for Steph Jones, but did she go out, get these clients, and have the relationships with these clients outside of Stephanie? Because that can happen too in certain situations. So, yeah, Jones grew more combative as the end date grew closer, with several weeks left in the tenure and innumerable client matters to handle. Abel found that she had been removed from client email distribution lists and left in the dark about meetings, calls, and events she was expected to attend. I mean, I feel like that's expected. Maybe not nice and stuff, but right? When people they leave or they get fired, there is a lot of paranoia, and maybe often justly so, maybe not, but there is that thought, why would you be involved still? Unless it's really like there's a lot of trust there and there is training to do and so forth. It was clear that to Abel that Jones was trying to embarrass Abel and tarnish her professional reputation in advance of her departure. Oh, okay, that's an interesting take on that. Okay, well, cool. Um, Jones work chief of staff. Hi, sorry to bug you. I'm on the playing call, and the team let me know he put the notice in to go on hiatus end of month or something. Is this why are these so bad? Why are these so bad? Is this final or just a break? And I was removed from the alias, I think. Is there a plan to tell these clients I resigned, or can I something them know something let them know letting them I start letting them know because I don't want it to seem like I'm just stopping reposting or whatever out of nowhere, responding, and learn blank and something blank and blank and blank and blank. Was this not going to be a conversation prior? Now I feel like I need to protect myself and make these clients and partners aware, probably. Hi, I only just removed you from those aliases a few minutes ago. You're still on Austin, etc. I'm not sure what. Oh, Justin. Sorry, you're still on Justin, etc. Not sure what you mean by protecting yourself, as the team have been actively covering the accounts and handling all day-to-day operations and client interactions. Part of our timing of when to communicate with clients is guided by our collective decision as a team. We dis- we discussed sharing news with the clients on Monday, August 19th. That's not true, but that's okay. I really have respect for you and know what you have to deal with because you've share that with me, and but I'm also a real person and there's no job worth treating someone disrespectfully. Okay. I'm back in town on Monday and I need to get my number back and pay for my device. So let's handle that then. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this reads to me like, when someone leaves a job, it's not really friendly most of the time. Even when it's friendly and no one's done anything bad and no one's stealing anyone's like work or anything, they do the company, the people that stay there do ice you out, which to me is like really odd sometimes. Um, so I'm reading this as, yeah, they're icing her out and taking it in their hands how to report that she's leaving, which is not nice. It's not fair. I don't think it's even moral, but I think it happens all the time. And I also feel like there's more to this story because I don't understand why she says it's disrespectful. But you know how people can placate you and then you're like, wait, as other people say gaslighting, like, wait, what's happening? Like, who am I talking to? I thought I was talking to this person, and who are you? Did you get abducted? Um, but yeah, I don't know. So she Oh, okay. This feels like a Hillary Clinton thing, right? When she used or so many that use like their business phone as personal because it says when Abel joined Jones' work in 2020, she ported her existing phone number, which she had used since high school, and switched to a Jones Works issued iPhone, knowing that she would have to turn over the physical device upon her departure. Abel arranged for her phone number to be released so she could port it into a new device and retain decades worth of personal contacts, photos, private conversations with friends and family. Why would you do this, Jennifer? No one should do this. Keep it separate. I don't care who you are. Unless it's like, you're actors and all that stuff, and that's like, it's a blurred line. But when you're working in an office job, if you are able to, even as an actor, director, etc., keep it separate. Keep it separate. Unless you're like, if you never combine your personal anything with, and I've been guilty of this, but never combine your personal email, phone number, photos, library, whatever, with any device that was given to you by your company, your employer, etc. Like, never do that. 101. Are people doing that? Yes, obviously. No matter what age, apparently. But don't do that. No, keep it separate. This is also so many lessons for all of us in these. Regarding your phone, we can give it back to you your last week. Okay, interesting. Did they? Morning. We Can we please handle switching my phone over today? This was August 19th. I'm having to fly home now on Friday, and today is really my only free day to do so. Please let me know if that's possible. Thank you. Morning. I'll call Verizon. Thanks so much. Um, Still, oh, that was August 10th, maybe, and this is 11. I don't know. So hard to tell. No, still 19th. I don't know. Hey, just checking in. I'm leaving the office soon for a meeting, but I can stop by Verizon on the way. Possible to make the call so I can do so. Um, and then no answer in the 21st. Hey, blank, were you able to release my phone? I'm headed back to Verizon and they said I need an email that will apparently be sent once released, but I'm not sure. Um, please let me know. Okay. So, yeah. I wonder if they kept her phone, and sorry, my back is better for everyone who knows that story, but it's not 100%. So let me have a moment here. Oh, okay. I wonder if or I wonder why they didn't release her phone number, because this then reads like they didn't want her to have access to anything either. But maybe it was because they thought more in terms of the clients. They didn't want to have her have access to the client phone numbers, like personal conversations she's had? Or was it because they wanted to release the conversation themselves and for her to not be able to defend herself? Like, no, see, I have the actual text messages, the context like we ended up getting. Um, and I wonder how that happened too. But if this is true that they could keep the physical phone, which had everything in it, and also they had that for, it seems like a while, like at least a week, right? Before she was done. It was more than a week. It was July 23rd, I think, that she first brought it up. Um, or did they not? I don't know. But this is how that reads, that they had the phone. They could have, taken everything from the phone and then give it back to her, or give the phone number back to her and keep the phone, keep everything in it. So it's not reading so well. Um, so after a lawyer demanded that Abel hand over her personal laptop afterward. Okay. Sorry. Complete caught off guard by this hostile and intimidating display, Abel fell into a state of shock. She had never experienced anything like this. August 21st, 2024. So that was like that last day, technically 2 days before her last day. Pulled up to Jones' work in Beverly Hills. She was confronted by a physically imposing security guard, of course, a lawyer sitting at a conference table covered in documents, an IT professional, and Jones' chief of staff, who had flown in unannounced from New York. Apart from Jones's chief of staff, Abel had never seen any of them before. Okay, sorry, that's why did you include that? That's not necessary. After being, I mean, maybe legally it's necessary. I don't know. After being ushered into the conference room, Abel saw that the security guard was posted just outside its doors, blocking the exit. There, the attorney pointed to the documents and told Abel in the menacing and cold tone to review and sign them. The attorney told her that Jones Works believed she had proprietary information on her personal laptop and would likely have grounds to sue if Abel did not allow them access. Completely caught off guard by this hostile and intimidating, this is like high stakes world. Abel fell into a state of shock. She had never experienced anything like this and did not know what to do, fearful that she would burst into tears and humiliate herself. I would have already been tearing up. I would have been crying. I don't know how she kept it together, which she knew was what Jones wanted. Whatever. Abel disassociated. Um, dissociated. Knowing she had not done anything wrong and desperate to get out of there, Abel signed the documents without digesting their contents. Afterward, the lawyer demanded that Abel hand over her personal laptop. Abel complied, and the IT professional conducted a search that turned up nothing. The attorney then presented Abel with a list of approximately 10 documents and accused Abel of having accessed and stolen them. Abel denied having done so, and the IT specialist conducted a further search of her laptop, which again turned up nothing. The attorney then instructed Abel to hand over her phone, after which security would escort her out of the building. Still utterly shell shocked and desperate to get out of there, Abel agreed to hand over her phone so long as they would confirm that Jones Works would immediately release her personal cell phone, which would enable Jones Works to take possession of the physical device without gaining unrestrained access to its content. Okay. All right. It would also um, allow Abel to get a new phone and move on with her life without undue disruption. After express confirmation from the Jones Works chief of staff and attorney, Abel handed them the phone and was ushered out of the building. Seeing that Abel had been okay, blah blah. Emotion. Abel went straight to a Verizon store a short distance away. Once there, Verizon contacted Jonesworks to coordinate the release and transfer. The Jonesworks chief of staff assured Abel and Verizon that they were in the process of effectuating the release and to bear with them for a few minutes. Abel never heard from him again. After 4 hours of desperate, unanswered calls, Abel left Verizon in panic and despair. Wow. Wow. Abel realized Jones had double crossed her in a very serious way by refusing to release Abel's phone number. Jones Works had usurped her contact information and cut off Abel's access to critical accounts protected by two-factor authentication linked to that phone number. Yeah, that's the other thing too. As a result, Abel lost access to her iCloud, including all her text messages, photos and contacts, bank accounts, utilities, insurance, and virtually every other sensitive account. By contrast, Jones now had unrestricted access to everything stored on Abel's phone, her text message, email, personal photos. Jones could read her communications with her fiance, parents, friends, everyone. Oh, that would be oh my gosh. That hurts. That hurts. I can understand both sides. I can understand the fear. I can understand, wanting to protect yourself so much that you are doing these things. I don't agree with it, but I can understand that. I can totally see that. But I can also like understand Jennifer's side of things. And man, oh boy. Again, all I can think of is don't cross over your personal and your professional, your business phone, your business laptop, your business computer, your business whatever. Don't merge them. Do not merge them. I worked in two places that I had Apple and I have an iPhone. At that time, I had iPhone and Apple. And I mean, right now I do. I used to have Android before. And I was tempted. It would be easy. It would be so easy to just log into your personal phone number and, be able to text at work, or whatever from the laptop or the computer or whatever it is. Don't do that. Don't do that. And this was even more than that. Can't stress this enough. Okay. I don't think Lively's team has a case. They're grasping at straws. They might settle, maybe too early to tell. Yeah, we'll see what we'll see Monday. And boy, did they release this on a weekend. It's almost like they're like it's not even an important weekend, right? But well, it's important because they're getting ready for the Monday hearing and now they have to deal with this too. And it's almost kind of like payback for the CRD complaint coming in. Okay, and I don't know how Christmas plays into that because Christmas was on that Tuesday, I think. Tuesday and Wednesday, Christmas Eve and Christmas. And also um there's like Hanukkah cuz yeah, I think Justin has mentioned that at least growing up, I think he celebrated both or something. But now they're Baha'i, so what do they celebrate? I mean, they don't. I think have. So you can like say Christmas or not Christmas, but it was still like a lot of holiday season. A lot of they have friends, they have all the stuff. And they did that weekend before, and then the fires that I think there was enough time between my understanding between the fires starting and when they were served with the lawsuit. Um, but then they didn't have, like they just kind of waited to like hit them at the wrong time. And I feel like this is kind of a payback for that, or like well, here we can play this game too. Right before the hearing on Monday, you thought that, you know, and also probably like getting this in now, so we can see it regarding like how things go on Monday. We have this information as the public, a nod to us for all our investigative thing that I didn't get to with the metadata and all that stuff. And so it's in there. But yeah, I have two. That's how the company got the phone. Yeah, I have two numbers, one for work and one for personal use. Yeah. Also, if you have like the two SIMs on the same phone, also be careful. Just keep it separate. It saves money and all this stuff, sure, but like just keep it separate. You never know, and you might not work in something this cutthroat, but like you never know. And it's just so much easier at the end of the day, and legally so much less headache if anything ever happens that you might not even be aware of, but someone else did something in the company and suddenly they want all of the stuff. And it's like just, it's better safe than sorry. Um, they wanted to keep the business private, can't be used against you. Yeah. By the way, Angel, how are you feeling? I As soon as I ended yesterday's live, I was like, "Oh crap, I didn't ask. I hope you're feeling better because I saw you there." But yeah, how are you feeling? Intimidation tactics. The company's sick. They know what they're going to. Yeah, I mean, they're a PR company, Stephanie Jones. It's like, okay, sorry. um, and I'll get back to this lawsuit. I'm just taking a moment to like catch up. But um, I mean, I'm not reading anything that's like it hits, but I'm not shocked because I assume that especially a PR company, especially someone who's like trying so hard to have A-list celebrities as their clients and hold them and hold on to them and all this stuff. I mean, they would do anything. And before now, all of that was kind of hidden. Now, literally the whole world knows how it works. I do agree with some of the New York Times articles title. I don't think it's even about the smear campaign. I think it should have been inside, you know, Hollywood's public relations system because we were getting so much like upfront knowledge about how that works. And the other part too is like the way that this was initially presented, especially, is like, oh, only these people did it and they did it because of the allegations and it's retaliation. It's like, no, we're starting to see just, and if you're thinking also like this is how it works all the time and worse, it's just crazy, crazy. Um, yeah, the company, they can nitpick text. From Justin's original lawsuit, they had access for her to her personal bank account and medical stuff that she couldn't access without the phone. It sounded like pure spitefulness on Jones' part. Yeah, or just they didn't think about that. They didn't care about that. I think I don't think it was, but maybe I'm also just giving the benefit of the doubt, and I'm, you know, still feeling like these are still humans at the end of the day. But I think she just, and Stephanie Jones and, everyone else involved in this decision and these decisions just didn't think of that. They just thought of saving themselves and the information that they needed, and for that to be protected so they can use it against Jennifer, or so Jennifer couldn't, access the clients or steal clients or whatever. I don't know that they thought this much through. Like, oh, she might need this like two-factor authentication and the Google, whatever the code thing that it generates in order to access like real life stuff, rent, medical um things, like all this stuff. So yeah. Um They need to subpoena her phone. Do you mean like Stephanie's phone? Stephanie Jones's phone? I am curious what's on everyone else's phones. I am so curious. Again, I don't think we'll ever see that, but yeah, this is crazy. Now Justin has been fired from 3 new jobs. This is, oh my gosh. I'm in cherry picking. Okay, well, feel better. Feel better. Um, okay. So what? Oh, this is to Stephanie and the chief of staff. This is the next day. Steph, this is Jen. Abel, my new cell. I'm writing you both as a personal plea to please release my cell phone number. This is the same number I've used since high school. I've had since high school. This isn't a work related thing. This is my personal number that is linked to all of my bills, my medical. Now they knew. Um, Blank's dad's living facility, well, all of my personal emails. Can you imagine also like who remembers even all that they need access to? Sometimes I don't even know, and this is so bad, but I don't even know what accounts I have out there until they pop up. They pop up as like, oh yeah, they're taking money, their monthly fee from my account, or oh yeah, this. Um And yeah, all my personal emails and accounts, and due to two-factor authentication, I can't access anything. Blank, you wrote me numerous times you were going to release this. And then when Verizon was calling you during the 4 hours I was there yesterday, you never picked up. They said you never even started the process after you told me you did. The lawyer I was ambushed with yesterday even said this was fine to do. I've been nothing but good to you both, uh, but this is just mean and egregious, and I'm begging you to please release it before I travel tomorrow, please. You have no use for a blank number that has been my personal phone number before you took the on the billing. It takes one phone call, please. Yeah, so by now for sure they would have been able to just like download everything, because they're also like a big team, or they have IT people, so they could have like done just everything and then release her phone number. But well, not everything, like log into all of her email accounts and all this stuff. Who knows? But like that's spiteful, to go that far. Um, Unfortunately, your company phone says otherwise. Okay, I didn't mean to put you guys in a weird spot. Sorry about that. Just wanted to ask. But September 2024, um, not to work for Able because of her business wouldn't be around much longer. Wait. Just so you know that whatever she is telling you guys about me or what I've done, it's not true. Enjoyed working with you both and wish you nothing but the best. Unfortunately, your company phone says otherwise. Ouch. So she basically like showed even like her past coworkers all her was this like a PowerPoint presentation that Stephanie did after she left to the company? Hey, look what this person, said about you or said about this. Just when I thought it couldn't get more like college or high school or, like oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, this is beyond professional, protection or whatever. About you guys, I've always been upfront with feedback and have held your hands to set you up for success the entire time with JB. I've given criticism and have told you both upfront where Justin has been unhappy, especially you, blank. This hurts my feelings, but at least my lawyer will be happy to know that personal texts are being shared with employees. And it's unfortunate that you have drank the Kool-Aid. I'll still be here when you guys wake up, sending nothing but love. Yeah, they're not at fault. They were just getting the stuff and, going along with it. And like, yeah, man. Whew. Gosh. Okay. This I think has been yeah, this is kind of more of the same, maybe. I want to get to it's coming up here shortly. But I want to get to the Ryan text message exchange. Um let's see. Cuz I feel like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. Okay, so um this kind of shares the timeline a little bit of what we've been finding out. And I thought about it last night when my friend sent me this text message and I just saw, yeah, and this was put out there. I saw screenshots about these amendments and I thought, has like did this happen with Johnny Depp in the Amber Heard trial? Did this happen with any other person where so many women were scouring the internet to help find evidence that they didn't think like, oh, let me find evidence for the lawyers, for the team itself, but just for our own sake or whatever, for the internet? Because it's like it's women really that are interested in this whole case on both sides. That's pretty much safe to assume that's like the main I guess, demographic. Not every It's not just women, but that's like the majority. And I see so many like TikToks reposted of women supporting Justin and all this stuff, and all the people that found all these things. Like, has this happened before? Is this a new way of like doing such investigations and lawsuits where you get the public involved? Like, because in a way, it can be good or bad. And right now with AI and all the stuff, things can like be fabricated. So you need maybe you give them extra issues, extra things to check and run through and make sure that it's valid and it's accurate and correct. But at the same time, when you have thousands and thousands and thousands of people looking for something, like Dave Neal said, that needle in the haystack. He said like diamond or diamond ring in the parking lot or whatever. You get information so much quicker and so much easier because it's a whole network. In Romanian, we have this saying, where there's one, there's no power. Where there's two or more, the power like doubles or whatever. Unde uno nu-i putere, unde doi puterea crește. Yeah, the power like increases. And this is what we see firsthand. This is why, like, America, like, it hurts me how everyone is so divided here and is made to be divided more and more nowadays. Like, it's me against you, you against me, you against them, or them, or against you, or whatever. Everything's so divided. When you get here in school, like, you change classmates almost every year unless you go to certain schools, but that's like more of the standard. Every year you get new classmates, so you don't create those bonds, and you don't even know how to create that like community and bonds at the end. So being that with internet, that's changing. And with these lives, with these communities that are formed on YouTube around maybe silly issues like Hollywood, whatever you call this smear campaign and whatever. But like, it just brings people together, and like, there's so much power in that. And for us to have all, contributed to this lawsuit, it can sound um like, oh, is that a good idea? But at the same time, it's like, it just feels so amazing to be able to have that community to, like, unearth whatever truth on whatever side. There are people that work on the other side too, for Blake, and try to figure that one out. But yeah, so basically, they're talking about um the complaint coming out, and they're showing the metadata, the December 16th, the topper. So what did they have to say about these? December 18th. That's my birthday, by the way. As the members of the public pointed out, just a straight shout out to us. That person, that initial person that did um the TikTok that found this out, right? Oh, boy, they must be like thrilled. But yeah, web crawler data appears to indicate that the PDF of the CRD complaint linked within the article was uploaded to Time servers even earlier. Oh, interesting. Specifically, using a search engine to search for the CRD complaint within the Times static document repository, where the CRD complaint is stored and referenced by a link in the article, shows that a web crawler, a program that scours the internet to locate and catalog websites and files, recorded the CRD complaint PDF as having been uploaded as early as December 10th, 2024. So this is not even the images that we've seen, but that we've mainly talked about, but this is the complaint itself. Because the images, you can argue around that. So I think this was, they might have not included the image metadata if they didn't have this. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. The PDF file itself appears to have been created no earlier than December 21st, 2024, and at least according to the file's properties. That's a little confusing, but okay. That is that is big. Okay, so that's okay. Created and modified. Those can be a little confusing. Sometimes I've seen like created um fluctuate, but I mean they had whoops, sorry. Darn it. They had darn it. What page was I on? Oh man. Wait. Oh, I thought that was something else. Um shoot. Okay. I need to like keep in mind the pages. So they had this it's confusing. So the PDF itself wasn't created until the 21st, but the PDF was uploaded on the 10th? Or is this the PDF? No, they said the PDF file of the CRD complaint. Yeah, this is so okay. However, various online commentators have noted this may indicate that a web crawler cataloged an earlier created version of the document that has been replaced with a new version. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but it's like I don't think that can happen, right? Like, but maybe like depending on the software and the stuff. Like on YouTube, if you upload a video, you can't re-uploaded, but other things like I think SoundCloud or other places might let you do that. Like just, oh, I just need to replace this file with a new file. When you're applying to jobs, you're like, you know, updating the resume, you put in a new resume. But whew, AK Emerson, props to you. Is that the person? Or I've been reading the amendment for the past 30 minutes, currently on page 89. This is wild. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, props to you, AK, like yeah, it's a lot. Um, and did you find anything other than well, I don't know if you've been on here, but other than, like, just a few things, that were new? Because it's so hard, I wish it would be, like, highlighted, like, "This is what's new." But yeah, the weekend before Christmas is a lot of people traveling, making preparations for the holiday. Most businesses, like lawyers' offices, are either closed or at least less staff. Yeah. Yeah, because there's also the lawyers involved. It's not just his family. Yeah. Um, oh, thank you, Dr. A. Heath. Oh, thank you so much. Well, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Like many, it's interesting. It is interesting that many people, I even look at the other content creators say they all say all the time like 50%, 90% of you aren't subscribed, so please subscribe. And yeah, 98% of my viewers aren't subscribed. So if you could, that would be really nice, but I'm not going to pressure you. You do you. It sounds like they wanted to bring Justin down. Why? Yeah. My friend is going back, and I'm kind of going back with her too. That like they wanted probably the right to the next book. Again, I think Blake and Colleen had the same vision for this movie. In spite of what Colleen was saying to Justin, this was what I was saying yesterday. I think Colleen was saying that to Justin because he's a guy. And so she wanted to know that it was going to be a respectful thing coming from him and stuff. And I don't know, sometimes you change your expectations of people based on whatever it is, like in this case, gender. And so if it was with Blake, I don't know that she would have said the same thing. Also, she would be probably a lot more intimidated or more in awe. But I think, based on again what we know, Colleen did with the book beforehand, and then when it got popular, and then with the movie and how it was promoted and all that stuff, and her being in the editing bay with Blake, but through Blake's own words in that one interview where the intimacy coordinator question was asked, and she had Colleen, Blake, Colleen, and Brendan, that I keep wanting to call Adam. So I think they might have like kind of like, oh, I actually like you where you're going with this better, calling to Blake or whatever. And then we'll get to more, but the idea that Ryan and Blake or Blake just wanted to take over the rights to the next movies and make them their own, kind of like, I don't know if this is exactly how it went with Ryan and Deadpool, but yeah, like, did he have the rights initially to Deadpool? Does he have them now? But it's kind of his now, so maybe they thought, "Oh, Blake, you can have this one, Here's yours." The crazy thing is that they really seem to think none of this stuff would come out. Yeah, this is bullying, absolutely. Um, Justin's team didn't do what New York Times claimed. The messages were edited, cutting out chunks of messages. Yeah. Um, and then it's a headache on the first pages. I'll get a headache on the yeah, yeah. Um, oh, I'm sorry that you retracted your message. Wild. Why do you think this is your business? Do you have nothing else to do? Is this like directed to me or to what I read? I'm guessing this is directed to me. I don't really have an answer to that. I kind of actually shared why this is kind of hitting home and hitting my heart and why I started reading all of this. And I think when I was reading Justin's complaint initially, I didn't really know that I was going to post it. And it's on there. It's on my YouTube because but I wanted to, just in case. I felt like from the first paragraph, I was like, this is potentially explosive. This, at least like in my personal reaction, like, um, I think I might have some things to react to that are important to me. And that's I just kind of started reading it to my camera. And then I posted that because at the end of it, I just didn't even know what to do with it. And I thought no one else had posted anything yet because it is so huge. It was so huge. And I was like, maybe people want to, have someone read this to them. I might not have the best voice, or with my accent and my whatever, it might not go well. But I don't know. I felt like it should be out there. If it's public, it should be out there publicly. And I think it helped. My decision was held by TMZ saying, and I think that came after, but like, we read it so you don't have to. And I was like, well, but the audience should read it. And you should read it. And that's why I included the link too. You should read it for yourself. It's one thing when we react with our own bias and all that stuff, but um, do your own critical thinking. And that's like the empowerment that I hope this all has on all of us. Is it's up to us, because people can tell us what to think, but that's not necessarily for our benefit. It could be for their benefit. And yeah, that's why I'm doing this. And I have other things to do. Unfortunately, I kind of cut into those for this. Uh, yeah, Elizabeth, thanks. If it's public, it's our business. Yeah. Yeah, it is. And it's affecting us. And I wanted to make a video of why we should pay attention to this whole thing, because a lot of people are like, oh, this is just Hollywood celebrities, whatever. And I haven't been able to put my thoughts together because so much is coming out. And I was hoping that we would get a break during this weekend. And here we are. We didn't. But it's just so important. I think I would, in one seed, I would say critical thinking. It's exposing how easily everyone can manipulate anyone, or anyone can manipulate anyone or everyone, if we're not careful and on our toes. And it's happening in politics all the time. It's happened for so long. It's happening in media all the time. The advertisements, all the stuff. And now we have all of this stuff where we can make more of our decisions and we can see more cracks. And it's not to like put people down necessarily. Like I do have um I do have empathy for Blake's side and Blake and Ryan and all that. And they're human and they have lives. It's more so like focusing on like this kind of PR stuff needs to be a little bit more reined in, and we need to have a lot more access and more critical thinking. I don't know. I think I'm going in circles with that. I'll keep reading. This is more about this, not about all that. Well, I guess it goes hand in hand. Thank you, Dr. A. I wish I had, all the like fancy stuff like it's just subscribe this person and whatever. But yeah, justice for the truth. Yeah, exactly. Lots of new stuff. Found out that Blake and Ryan's company was in charge of the marketing. Oh, really? Which makes sense why they were pushing her products. Do you have the page for that? Did I not get to that, or did I skip over that? AK. Um, yeah, Arnaldo. Um, yeah. I will say also, let's all be obviously respectful of each other, even if, there is trolling or whatever. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and that's a valid opinion that a lot of people have. And yeah, I tried my best to explain it, but because I think, yeah, it's useful to explain, but I appreciate that, Maria. That's why I'm reading it 100. Yeah. What did I miss, Fox's mom? A lot, but not that much. We're on page 164 if you want to follow along. Um, yeah, there's basically the biggest thing I feel like is that they basically discovered, well, one, the whole it was mainly like around Jennifer Abel and Stephanie Jones so far. And okay, page 94. All right. Remember, I'll try to remember page 164 as I go to there. But yeah, they took her personal phone. They went into her personal laptop. Didn't find anything on there. But they wouldn't release, even though they said they will release her personal phone number that had access to like her medical records or pages, like my chart or whatever. And like someone's dad's living um what do you call that, like assisted living, and like two-factor authentication basically for all these places. And they wouldn't release her phone, and that was like kind of shocking, and unfair. um and then this big one that it's kind of a 100, it's not 100%, but it seems like the PDF of the complaint inside the New York Times article or inside New York Times was created on the 10th of December. And then the PDF appears to have a date of created on the 21st. But that could have also been updated, have an update. And so that's where we're at right now. But let me really skip to 94 one more time to see about that company, the marketing part. Thank you. This is again like it takes many eyes because sometimes it's hard. And I'm trying not to waste time for everyone. Um, as the premiere, uh, okay, the crumbs. Wait, where did you see that? AK on page 24. Um, oh, okay. So the other cast members also unfollowed Baldoni, creating the false impression that Baldoni had done something wrong. On information and belief, which again, I kind of even said they could have even done that and make it look like an intentional choice that he was the director. And, I don't know. On information and belief, lively induced the other cast members to shun Baldoni in an early attempt to give fans the impression that Baldoni had committed an egregious sin, something so egregious that no one wanted to even take photos with him or have him around or speak about him. At least she didn't speak about him. Excuse me. The other cast members did, though, but sparingly. Lively was leaving what she had earlier referred to as crumbs, a social media strategy. I remember reading this last time. Um, okay, that's not it. Yeah, maybe it's later because they do have a lot later. Okay, 164. But yeah, I did say in my initial reading of his complaint that these crumbs, the Easter eggs, that because she said something about like she learned from a celebrity friend, the unnamed Taylor Swift, of just how to dog whistle and Easter egg and all these little things that make this awesome internet power of finding things, you know, get their power. Taylor Swift knew this first. Um, but yeah, I was Team Blake before I read the content too. You have to read it. I love that you are going over it piece by piece. Justice for Justin, justice for all who face injustice. Yeah, especially for greed. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because it feels about him at times, and sometimes it feels like so much more than that. Um, Making sure they didn't incriminate themselves in text or messages. Um, yeah, that's not it. Okay. So, June 28th, 2024 on the timeline. Okay. Sorry. Um, Sorry, I don't know what that means yet. But yeah. Whew. So the New York Times also uploaded a video to accompany the article in which Tui breathlessly reported the easily and thoroughly disproven smear campaign narrative as what really happened. Yeah. I remember Andy said this, and I think he too. Was it Andy that like watched this first? And I thought that he understood it as like what really happened being like, not the smear campaign, but um I don't know, maybe I understood Andy. But yeah, but careful observers noted that the file name for the video appears to indicate that it was created on December 12th. Oh my gosh. What the heck? So whether or not these videos and these files were created, they knew something was coming as early so far as December 10th. So whether they, created the folder and then they added the video or whatever, they it shows pretty clear that they knew, and this is the October 31st thing that was. I feel like I discovered this one, but who knows how it got to them. Maybe I didn't. I don't remember. Doesn't really matter. The video presented as unquestioned fact the false and defamatory claim that the Wayfair parties orchestrated a smear campaign against Lively and concluded in a faint, somber tone. The story reveals a new, even visually, it was super somber. It was like made to invoke dark emotion. Um, but maybe that's what they do generally over there. I don't know. Um, this story reveals a new playbook. Is it a new playbook for waging a far-reaching and largely undetectable smear campaign in the digital age? Is it new, or is it just new to the Blake Ryan and so forth team, according to gosh, why do I always forget her name? Because I like Bethany Frankel. She's like, no, you're just not getting on board with the new age of media. Like, um, but yeah, this video, as much as the article itself constituted, and also, sorry to have said that, but also to kind of balance it out, it's also been shown that they also potentially instigated a smear campaign, initiated one. So um yeah, so they kind of know. But so this article itself, this video, sorry, constituted a malicious and reckless act of defamation and false light invasion of privacy by the lively parties against the Wayfair parties. There's even reason to believe, excuse me, that the Times had been working on the article months before, at least as of October 31st, 2024. Careful observers reported that viewing the HTML, again, a shout out to us, the HTML source code for the article revealed references to a message embed generator that referred to, wow, English is getting blurry, referred to a date of 24/10/31. Yeah. Of course, it may be the case that the New York Times just happened to load a new tool for embedding text messages within an article as part of routine system upgrades, only to stumble 6 weeks later upon the perfect opportunity to show off this new graphic tool in an article that relied heavily upon cherry picked and misleading reframed text messages. Also, I want to say, does anyone remember reading the article at first? Because I don't remember. Maybe I'm like combining. Maybe I jumped right into her complaint. I didn't remember seeing this type of text message generator or whatever until just when the whole metadata started and I was looking through it. So yeah. Yeah, go listen. Yeah, I guess this is also a lot of like a almost podcast thing. I think it means in the documents June 2024. Okay. It's important to understand that you can't wipe tech. They show us this in on CSI and Law and Order all the time. This case is going to be a huge lesson for PR, communication, and celebrities. Oh yeah, more than because people were like, "Oh, is this going to like alter how movies are made?" I think those people aren't really in the weeds of this. They didn't read and aren't on top of all that's being said and claimed because this is a lot more. Even Blake's original, I don't, again, people somehow, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but her whole complaint was about the smear campaign, was about retaliation. It wasn't about the allegations, probably because she couldn't prove those. And that you can take that one way or another. But or maybe it was like a little bit the prime focus was on retaliation and the smear campaign. The article was on the smear campaign and retaliation and PR world and all that stuff. And Justin brought up like, okay, let's tackle all of it. Let's show that there was no SH, and let's show, because that's also so important for him to be able to work and save relationships and so forth. And then also let's show the insides of not just the potential smear campaigning going around and everything, but um, all that was happening in the context of all of that. Um, so yeah, that's what they said, that they could have started, building that particular way of showing text messages, and it might have not been the messages, but we kind of have proof that they were waiting for something on December 10th. Um, and maybe, yeah, we don't have proof exact. I don't know. We have like interesting evidence that contradicts itself with when that PDF was created. The article refers to the 70 points. By insisting on superfluous or already extant protections, Lively laid the foundations for her baseless claims. Okay, this I think is kind of more of the same, right? Um, Sharing with you a perfect example of why we don't use bots. Yeah, I remember reading that. Um, what else is here? This is just, yeah, I think most of this is the same. And of course, like maybe a lot of us have even forgotten all that's happened. When I did take, I think I took a screenshot of the Ryan text message. I think they're just coming shortly. Statement for TMZ, Jamie and team, FYI, to Melissa. And this is from whoever to Wayfair Studios from TMZ. Hello, I'm a reporter at TMZ and I'm reaching out to get a statement regarding some information. This was August 14th, 2024. We're being told there were at least 3 HR complaints filed against Justin. Yeah, where are these complaints? And why weren't those filed with her original complaint? We wanted to see if the complaints were investigated and what was the result. Um, yeah, I remember this was in the previous one too. Um, did we see this one though? I've told everyone to not do one thing, plant, seed, even speak to one reporter, even on background. Now I'm involved. now that I'm involved, there will be no shock surprises to you. Just also, I'm not doing one thing without speaking to you. Okay. Oh, yeah, I remember this. I remember that. Okay. Cool. Um, let's see. What else? This is where they like spliced and diced. And this is where they lost me because I think, the way that people talk sometimes, it can be confusing when it's not in like a professional email where you talk. It can be too professional and that can be confusing, but whatever. Anyways. So I was thinking response to this weekend. Yeah. So in article the Times writes Lively's filing includes excerpts from thousands of text messages, and they had no interest of smearing Lively and never did such thing. What they did was faithfully promote. Okay, this I'm going to be fair and say this doesn't necessarily mean that same thing. These are you're talking apples to like Fuji apples to maybe Gala apples. It could be around the same thing, but it could also be just seen as completely different things. He could be saying this and also doing the smear campaign. And I'm not saying like, oh, Justin did the smear campaign. I'm saying that to be fair, this to me personally does not look like a direct evidence that his team wasn't doing that. We have other things that look like it was kind of obvious that they weren't, but yeah. Um, yeah. So Jen, okay. More stuff that I'm 90% sure that we read. And you did not do all, yeah, it's all just saying, you didn't do this, right? You didn't do this, right? Also wonder why they felt that way too. Like, it's just like, man, the hostility, the war that was before even the war started to us. Um, okay, at 2:16 a.m. The Yeah, so this was the response that I found yesterday that I mentioned on the live yesterday. It is shameful that Miss Lively and her representatives would make such serious and categorically false claims or accusations against Mr. Baldoni. I wonder why we're not getting the screenshot of this email though. I mean, I hate to say anything like that, at this point, but like don't hate me. I'm still, feeling, oh, like 98%, 99% on Justin's side of things. Um I it's me. I don't want to like pretend like this isn't there. That they're just including this kind of at their own word, but we don't have the screenshot of this email exchange. Um but yeah. They didn't include anything about TMZ. That I think it was just happened yesterday or 2 days ago. That was kind of, okay, so now alright. This was kind of the original one, and you have the causes of action and blah, blah, blah. Now, I believe this all is new. It starts on page 224. Remember how I got mad enough with Justin's book yesterday, and I was saying it's kind of double the page number. We got double the page number. The total pages of this whole thing now is 392 pages. Will I read every single page? I don't think so. And also a lot of these pages are just text messages, screenshots. Shoot. Um, so yeah, but yeah, it is a lot that's been added. So going back to where did we go? This is what I love as a filmmaker. I love like seeing the behind the scenes of that. Okay. So like the call sheets and all that stuff. So this is January 31st. This is Oh, no, this is the exhibits. Sorry. Okay, so that was the end of the complaint and stuff. Um, The following timeline is intended to be read in conjunction with Consolidated Plaintiff's First Amended Complaint and is expressly incorporated therein by reference. This document provides a summarized account of the sequence of key events. Cool. I love this. We have a direct timeline. Before I start this, just in 30 seconds or a minute, I'm going to shift my body so my back, I don't kill it right now and go back into my pain, and also just catch up quickly with this. So, have you noticed celebrities PR have gotten really bad lately? Yeah, I think like they're phoning it in. I think they're just we're just probably more on top of things a little bit, and they are, I don't know, they don't know what to do with it because it's kind of it's out of their hands a lot of the times now. We see so much and people talk and everyone wants that, you know human knowledge, I guess. I don't know, instead of what's like presented and all that. Unless it was her complaint, she wouldn't have access to HR files. um okay. So who would have, because Justin's team, if those HR files happen, um, let's say, complete theoretically speaking, they wouldn't want those to come out. And again, we have like over 100 pages to go through right now, and maybe that's in here. But and then if Blake's team wouldn't have access, but they would probably have the ability to ask for them, right? Like subpoena them, and then we include them. But they don't want to be public with anything right now. So it's crazy to see all of this as a writer coming up in the industry. This is really scary. Yeah, I've been afraid to comment. Yeah, I know, because I am getting my life back a little bit. I was in the corporate world more, and I kind of lost my way completely, and I just was starting to go back into filmmaking, and I had the same thing, like, shoot, should I say this? Like, will I be blacklisted before I even am known in any kind of way? Even doing like a PA job on a movie, will I have this hanging over my head? But then I kind of put that to the side, honestly. Same thing with the politics part. I don't want to comment on it because actually, to be honest, just actual personal safety concerns. Like you don't know what's going to happen, in the next, well, from here on out, like things are so getting out of hand with everything and everyone. And so, yeah, but at one point there is that moment where you're like, it's better to speak out than not. And so many people are speaking out. And if I don't make it into the film world, I don't make it into the film world. My main reason to even do that, honestly, I relate a lot to Justin, of just um sharing stories that have a positive impact, and that chocolate covered broccoli is exactly what I wanted. And if he can continue doing this and I don't get to do that, or other people can continue doing this because, these people implode, but because of that, people are a lot more honest in that filmmaking world, or then, it's good. But yeah. Um, oh, really? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'll try not to also mention your name, although like there you can see the chat, but I'll just like try my best to keep that also as safe. The claim was to isolate him, that everyone turned their back on him. Yeah, I wonder if she had that in her pocket and said like, "Here, I'm going to file this to them too." Right? Anyways, okay, so let me just shift my body a little bit and then I'll start reading. Oh boy. Ugh. Oh god. All right. And sorry, I'm like super laptopy. Yeah, little. I have this like brand new camera that my boyfriend gave me for for my birthday, and have not had time to use it, to like figure out how to connect it to the lives and all that stuff. And then I'm on, yeah, it's crazy, but I appreciate your patience. Okay, so January 1st, 2019. That is when it all starts. That is Justin's email to Colleen that we've read, so I'm not going to read it. Also, it's impossible pretty much to read. It's so blurry. But it's clear up. I forget what pages, but up in the actual lawsuit part. Also, just personal poll, who choose their water, because I get made fun of for that. Um, and then April 11th, when it ends with us, author Colleen watched director Justin Baldoni's 5 Feet Apart, and then said, reply to him, "You're the right person to do this." So that was like quite a while. It was what, 3 months, excuse me, to reply. And then April 12th, excuse me, she suggests, like, yeah, the next day she suggests you should play Ryle. May 8th, Justin options the book. September 16th, 2022. So 3 years later, 9 plus 3 equals 12. Um, September 16, 2022, Baldoni connects with a representative from the nonprofit organization No More, which raises awareness and acts to end domestic and can I say that word? Oh gosh, violence, with the intention of partnering on the film. The representative followed up with an email to Baldoni shortly after. Okay. Is this in the previous? I think this is in the previous one. Um, Okay, so September 16th, 7 p.m., 8 p.m. So happy we got a chance to connect. This is from No More. Connect today, albeit briefly. I am really excited that No More is partnering with Wayfair in any way, and beyond grateful as it relates to Microsoft and the movie. What does Microsoft have to do with all of this? What? Is this a new rabbit hole? Your comment about not wanting to make DV, yeah, is well taken. That is a good one for Justin. I mean, again, this was before anything, before Blake signed on, anything. He, in the conversation with No More Rep, he was very aware of like what the tone of the movie shouldn't be, that he didn't want that to be. And we see it from his other movies. All his other projects are for the cause, not just like entertainment and extortioning it basically. So yeah, appropriately acknowledging the balance between how childhood trauma impacts us as adults and not wanting to excuse Ronald's behavior is really hard. Simultaneously, you want the audience to understand Lily's response to Ryle after the violence she experienced as a child, without people getting frustrated and wanting to scream, "Why don't you just leave?" Not easy stuff, but I am confident you of anyone will get it right in a way that makes a good movie with a strong message. I love that you want to help victims with the proceeds from the film. For sure, direct service is one route, but you may even have heard it today. Prevention, which is what ACTM really does, is where the field often prefers huge awareness opportunities like this one focus. Okay. In this case, the title of the book, a film says it all. Um, Man, it's so hard to read this. The intergenerational nature of DV, and the intergenerational nature of DV ends with us. And a great place to start um that work is with adult survivors of childhood DV, like Lily. There is so little out there just for that population. Yeah, that's so that kind of also, it has that different spin on how this movie was inspiring and why it was for a portion of, DV and not so much the survivors of direct TV, but why the message of it was like, look what can happen, look what you can prevent. I don't know if that came across one way or another. It was just chaos, this whole movie and the whole promotion of it. Personally, I love the idea of doing some research about the this element of DV and using it to inform resources and other tools we might develop for adult survivors, and B, using it as part of a potential education campaign accompanying or in the run up to the movie's release. There are so many ways to go. What? Man, and so many people I can think of right now who could have been Ryle, who have Ryles in their families, which then leads to more Lilies. Mull it over. Happy to talk through, brainstorm, be well, and have a great weekend. P.S. And I am sure you hear this a lot, but your wife is just lovely, beautiful inside and out. I can just tell from like 3 minutes of conversation. Oh, I love that they're like such a team and everyone loves them. Uh, this is a beautiful email. I don't remember actually this being in the original one, so I'm glad that I wrote it. I read it. Man, this is so beautiful, even though, and it says maybe even more that this is what, I don't know if it says more, but that this was the representative's reply. Like, hey, because I think they had like a talk, and curious what that Microsoft thing is. They had a talk, and this was the reply. This was just so beautiful, and I just want to take a moment for the movie and the help for survivors that never came because of what ended up happening behind the scenes. I just wanna take a moment for that, even though, yeah, there's still so much to go through. As a filmmaker that myself, aspiring filmmaker, I should say, that movies that I would make would be exactly in this kind of spirit where I would want to make to yeah, make connections with actual impact, and like, I just can relate to this so much, and I'm just so sad that this didn't really shape up. It could have been so impactful. Again, and the idea of, going to the root, not almost root cause, to catch things early enough to prevent things going forward. And I remember Justin for a moment saying that he wanted to make this movie also for the Riles, for them to kind of question themselves, why am I doing this? And stop, that side of things too. And I remember thinking, I wish you would have actually done that movie. This movie was never going to be that movie. But that movie, having the background of Ryle and in a way that it can reach the men, because again, this is like this type of gender relationship, but and I think statistically, I don't want to like assume too much, but I believe I heard like in these interviews that statistically more men are perpetrators, but I think it's a wonderful cause that relates to his work specifically. So again, it doesn't speak for every perpetrator and every victim, but to have that, I think it would illuminate so much. And I wish that he would make that movie. After this, I don't think he could dare make that movie. I think he would be. It's such a fragile thing, but that needs to happen. So whoever wants to make it, because yeah, to like stop from that side too, not just stop prevent lilies of the world going into a relationship like this and catching the signs and all that stuff early enough, but also from the perpetrator part to like, yeah, I remember him saying that, and I didn't probably say it right, but yeah, I really want someone to make that movie because I think that is so impactful. And it's going to be a hard one because I think to show that properly and to hit the hearts of those men, you do have to give grace that probably other people might have an issue with because it hits home for them on the other side. And so to have that balance will be so hard. Um, Anyways, back to this. So September 23rd, 2022, Wayfair partners with Sony. So just a few days later, right? Because this was September 16th, and then Sony comes in. Their agreement includes at Wayfair and Baldoni's insistence a requirement that 1% of the film's proceeds be donated in support of survivors. I've said this before. The 1% might seem small, might seem decent. I don't really have a complete opinion on this. It seems small to me too, but when you think of millions of dollars, in theory, I don't know. Filmmaking is a lot more money than you think. There's so many people involved. So I don't know. I don't know. That's a whole other conversation for another time. If that's like not enough or enough. December 31st, 2022, but at least it was something, I should say. That is still really good. At least it was something because not all the time this happens. December 31st, 2022, Lively agrees to take the lead role of Lily Bloom. January 13th of 2023, Baldoni and Wayfair develop marketing ideas for the film. They share these campaign ideas with Sony, including an idea for Lily Bloom pop up shops nationwide, each of which would provide access to resources and safe houses for domestic violence victims, not alcohol bottles holding flowers. They also sought to partner with nonprofit. Sorry, that was a dig. I'm sorry. They also sought to partner with the nonprofit No More, which raises awareness and acts to end domestic and this violence. Some people have like interesting ways to go around those words. Um, was it thoughts or my thoughts or something? She reviews 90 Days. I love her. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's my new favorite thing. Anyways, okay, so January 13th, from Wayfair Marketing to Sony. So this is the concepts, campaign concepts. It was great meeting with everyone to discuss the vision for the three pre-production social videos and initial content and campaign concepts. I've attached an overview of the topics covered during our call. Just went into that accent. We're excited to partner and bring It Ends With Us to current and new fans in creative ways. Thanks and have a lovely weekend. Best blank. Pre-premiere campaign nationwide Lily Bloom pop-up shops, fun and sexy floral shop around the country. Justin, if possible, other cast to show up impromptu for photos, book signings, maybe even working in the shop. Partner with a domestic abuse organization, no more, and local shelters to facilitate access to resources and safe houses. Early fan screenings, which we saw him kind of do, right? Early fan screenings across country, cast flies from screening to screening before premiere, 5 feet apart model. Okay, so yeah, we saw him like initially do that pop up shop with like making flowers with Colleen, making little bouquet things. But I think in his mind, it was like also providing resources. I can see pretty cool ways and cute ways to like promote this in like a way that was like helpful. But we see fun and sexy floral shop. Okay, let's find out more. Um, January 2023, Lively introduces Baldoni to her friend and celebrity trainer who would later become Baldoni's trainer as well. January 23, so the next day, Baldoni and the trainer start collaborating, with the trainer delivering Baldoni's workout program on February 26th. Hey, blank, Justin Baldoni here, a new friend of Blake's. We are working together on a film. I'll be headed your way first week of March for 4 months. Great to meet you, Justin. Happy to discuss. Let's jump on a call at some point. Okay. That's a shame it'll never come to fruit. Yeah, the pop-up shops. Wouldn't that be that would have been such a cool idea, right? With like the resources and like little like cars, go with the theme, but go with it in, a helpful way instead of just like cute and fun and sexy or whatever they said. Um yeah. Yeah, the reading the book, yeah, have reached men and women alike. Yeah. Okay. So February 9th, 2023, Lively and Baldoni exchange texts. She jokes with Baldoni that she is 20 pounds from her goal weight. Baldoni responds by disliking the message. Lively thanks Baldoni for his friendship and support. Your friendship, okay, so this is Blake. Your friendship support helped me with that also. So thank you. This is at 7:29 because sometimes the time means something to people that are outside the film industry. Not holding to anything professionally, just thank you for the friendship side of in the meantime. Wait, what? Your friendship support helped me with that also, so thank you. Not holding to anything professionally, just thank you for the friendship side in the meantime. Does this mean like I'll see if I'll thank you for the professional side of things, but in the meantime, I'll thank you for the friendship because that that's good. Is that what she meant, or am I reading that wrongly? I don't even know what that means. Anyways, Justin, right away he responds, "For real, I was worried about you. That's so much to hold. I'm really happy for you. I bet you feel 1,000 pounds lighter." Justin. I don't know if that was like the best thing, but he tried. I really, really do. Only 20 to go. Um oh, he didn't know. Okay. So the 20 came after. Disliked, only 20 to go. And then laughed and then she smiled and whatever. Okay. Not the biggest, sorry if that was like too yelling. Not the biggest wow. Okay. February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day, 2023. Baldoni begins writing and sending script revisions to Lively, all the while also building rapport with his co star and lead actress. Lively responds, "You're safe here," indicating he need not worry about his choice of words and could speak freely. Interesting. Perfect. Aw, thanks. It's left over from the book tour from months ago, but nice to see people still care about it. What is left over? Applaud, applaud. Been deep into writing, really fun with you in mind. Fun, not the right word. Oh, it's like the like eye emoji. Exciting. You're safe here, and then love. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I can understand what he meant, really fun with you in mind, but he also caught himself, which is, I guess, interesting. It's hard because yeah, when you don't know someone, when you are talking with a friend, you know what you mean by certain words. And sometimes I feel like certain languages are even harder to there's like so many more meanings to words than other languages maybe or whatever. And again, I've talked about like when you're talking in text message, that's like what you want to avoid because things can be read and mean so many different things. Um and so, yeah, but yeah, really fun with you in mind. I mean, to us, probably doesn't mean too much. To someone who is like, oh, he definitely had done the SH claims and all this stuff, and he's creepy and all this, like they might read into that. But again, for me, this goes neither here nor there, honestly. At the end of the day, it's like, I don't know, it's just such a small little thing, but okay. I guess this was to show that he said, "You're safe here." Don't trust people necessarily on that, I guess, sadly. I don't know. I think we should still trust people, but February 17th, 2023, because I think like probably there should have been a little bit more elaboration from both sides of all of this, like again building that trust and building like knowing each other and what they actually mean by words and so forth. um Like, he was too concise with his message, like, "No, fun, not the right word, exciting," like, that doesn't say he could have said more to explain why he felt like it wasn't the right word or whatever, and then I don't know, I'm going way too deep into this. Okay. February 17th, 2023, um, uh Lively shares her concerns with Baldoni with about having her body ready for the also, sorry, comment or like if you're watching this in replay or in the chat, like what do you feel about this? Like how do you take that fun word? Lively shares her concerns with Baldoni about having her body ready for the forthcoming scenes. Their characters would shoot asking, "What's the chance we?" Okay, so we've read this before. Um, or I've read this before for sure in the lawsuit. Thank you for your voice memo. It is deeply appreciated. You are. This is, yeah, December. What they say, 17th. I see here 18 or 16, but whatever. No, 17. Okay. You are everything you promised to be as a collaborator. Thank you. This is where I felt like this feels a little confusing. I know my job here, and also, sorry to get on this, confusing, like, it sounds like she is talking about other things than he is from what we've seen so far. She says, "I know my job here, and this piece is in big part my job here. We both understand the assignment as actors in the roles, but also as producers." She wasn't a producer at this time, and also as marketers. Believe she wasn't a market. Was that no? Yeah, executive producer was the marketing. We understand artistically, yes, but we get what we need to do in all aspects for this movie commercially. Uh, this felt like she was pushing this. I might be wrong. We don't have the communication, what he said before this, But this to me, standalone, sounds like she's making it into something that he wasn't making it. She's pushing for this like narrative of a commercial movie. As woke as we both are and work to be, she has not come across woke in any of her interviews. She's come across as trying to be woke. From what we've seen in the interviews and how she responds to things about feminism, she attacks interviewers or, yeah, interviewers about, anti-feminist type of like comments that they make towards her, like, "Oh, is it, you shouldn't ask a woman about that," but she doesn't back up with any information further, like to help them out or whatever. But yeah, as woke as we both are and work to be, this movie requires a certain aesthetic. It's part of the job that we both excitedly signed up for. I don't shy away from it because it's not problematic. It's the assignment. Like when someone is about to start an athletic event, again, like did the producers, was it in the contract, was it in the expectations that she needed to be a certain weight, or was this her putting that on herself? My husband and I both look at certain roles as athletic events, and this one is one of them. It's not always a part of the job, but on this one it is, and that's great. Why is this why? As much as I'd love to not think about it, that would be responsible and also impossible because it's unrealistic to acknowledge that I need to do what I need to do. This is my job here, and I meet my responsibilities with extreme work ethic. I look for solutions to achieve my high goals instead of lowering my goals, where we all win when we're each firing at our highest capabilities. And you and I both are, and will continue to. I just need to as much time as possible because I just had my fourth baby. I understand that you will never personally know all the nuances of the challenges unless you lived this physical moment in time. I'm with the physical road ahead, so having your understanding and support. So again, like she's already setting him up like, "Oh, you don't know. You'll never know." Um, I don't know what that the word of that sentiment is, but I can feel it. Like that's not what you do if you're kind and genuine. Like it feels like I don't know, manipulative because we are overusing that word. I feel like, but it's with a purpose used. saying it that way, like, "Oh, yeah, I understand that you'll never personally know all the nuances." Um, but maybe that was, like, from a conversation earlier. Very appreciated, to help me pull this off, not just in my experience now, but also healing from experiences past. Oh, this the direct note, the voice note that we just heard? And very appreciated, not just in my experience now, but also healing from experiences past. So thank you. We are going to kill it and be so fit. They have to Lola us to look less banging. What is Lola? I said this last time. What the heck is Lola? Um, Kicking butt, but it's still a ton of work with a ton of not a ton of time. That's the chance we can do body. What's the chance we can do body scenes at the end of the schedule? Um, this was that same day, the next day, something like that. I'm sure you are. Honestly, there's 1 billion moving parts to schedule right now, as they always are, as she knows, especially if she wants to be a producer. She should absolutely know that it's really challenging to create the schedule. Right now, I just turned in the rewrite, and so they are hard at work. So much of it comes down to locations and other cast availability, etc. So to be really honest, I have no clue. And so is this also why they filmed the young actors first too, which I guess kind of worked out in a way, you know, wrap them up. I want you to know you will look amazing. Anything you are insecure about, excuse me, we will walk through and get creative together and make you comfortable. I just don't want you to stress about your body. It's the last thing you need. As soon as I have a rough schedule that's even remotely accurate, I'll share and I'll make sure the team keeps this in mind as well. Thank you for your voice memo. This is a deeply appreciated. Okay, so that's the voice memo. Okay, so that's why like that looks like an 18. Okay, why did they flip that around? I don't know. Um, yeah. So I remember reading this and thinking, Blake, you sound like the only one concerned about losing 20 pounds, as you said earlier, or as we saw earlier. You seem to see this as an athletic event, as an aesthetic role. Um, was it because of that age difference? But when people lose weight when they're older, they look older, not younger. But okay. Um, Maybe, yeah. Maybe she was just she didn't mention, like, emotionally being a challenging thing, after giving birth, but some people have mentioned that, so okay. Um, but as far as, like, you know, looking like her body aesthetically looking different and working out and stuff, it sounds like just her, concern. But which is also valid, I guess, but to change the whole movie around one actor's, personal appearance preferences, um, I don't think that's justified. And to bring in, like, having given birth, like, yeah, absolutely, that's hard. Um, shouldn't that have been kind of discussed at the beginning, and then they would have done the whole schedule, considering, she could have said this. I guess she did say it, like, early, but I don't know. Either way, my main thing with this one is, like, I wonder what they talked about before, if he ever made it seem like her role was supposed to be a certain aesthetic, or if she put that on herself. We read this February 26th. Baldoni's trainer provides him with a workout program. Baldoni and Reynolds exchanged text messages on February 28th, expressing mutual support. And Andy already read these on his. Man, this is so fuzzy. But I'll read it too. So, hey Ryan, Justin Baldoni here. The guy who brought his literal baggage to his meeting with your wife. I asked for your number well over a month ago and have wanted to text you for a while now, but good my good of nerves um got my good of nerves. Okay. Don't focus, Arita. Emily and I have a very small circle. We live out in the country in Ojai and pretty much just hang out with each other. We've known all our closest friends for years, and I don't really have any close female friends that my wife isn't also friends with, let alone married ones. And so I guess this is just an awkward text to say I'd like to be friends. I'm happy there's no check yes or no box. That's so cute. That's so cute. That's so cute. Also, I can see how people will say, well, if he felt awkward for some reason, but at this point, I think they weren't really meeting. They weren't really like in the same room by this point, right? Him and Blake. Um, but yeah, I can see how people can take this whole text really, but especially this part of like, I don't have many close female friends that my wife isn't always also friends with, let alone married ones. And I guess this is an awkward text to say I like us to be friends. Um, it is definitely awkward. Blake also sent the sweetest message to my wife unprompted, saying something similar, which just made me respect her and your union even more. This is where I feel like, people on Blake's side might use this like, well, see, he didn't initiate, he got the phone number a while ago, but he didn't text Ryan. And it took Blake texting his wife to be like, oh, maybe I should text Ryan. To that, right now, my ability to react and critically think is a little impaired because the more I read, the more I'm just like just exhausted. And so I will react to that probably we'll all react to this a lot more in the next few days. Um but I'm noticing that is definitely like, I've been a supporter and admirer from afar of both of yours for years. You are in a class of your own, aren't they? And I so appreciate the way you move. Oh no. Oh no. This is so, it gets blurrier and blurrier. The way you move through the world as a man, but also you both as a couple. Your work, family balance, and the way you manage to show up for not just as a husband, but also as a father is so beautiful. I feel like I wanna award myself a little, like, certificate of, like, reading blurry text messages. Me and everyone who's, like, reading this and getting through it. I can't believe I'm able to. I aspire to have that balance and also find myself struggling with it a lot. Your support of her doing this movie meant the world to me. And when Blake told me that of the reasons she and you leaned in was because of, quote, the love I have for my wife, that's a really positive thing. It was by far the most meaningful reason I've ever had someone want to work with me. I hope my late text, late next text with her I hope my late next texts with her what? Haven't been too annoying, and I am really looking forward to all of us spending time together. My family is coming for half the time, which is going to be hard for me as we haven't spent more than a week apart in 11 years, just in his family, his wife and kids. But we will make it work, and I know my kids are excited to make some new friends in your kids. I'm going to do everything I can to get Blake out of at least a few days earlier than before. The schedule is being even more blurry. Being worked on, as I know how important it is for you all to be together. I can't read that. I'm sorry. He hopes for that or something. I can't maybe guarantee it yet. Why is this so blurry? Why is this so blurry? Why, like, seriously, why is it so blurry? Um Anyways, I'll do whatever I can. And finally, congrats on your gorgeous son. That kid sure won the lottery up uh, something to get to choose you both as okay. Oh, that kid sure won the lottery up there to get to choose you both as parents. That's, I guess, from his belief, maybe. Do Baha'is believe that you choose your like your parents? Kind of what is that? Uh, right when you're like these souls are like, oh, this is this next step. This is the next life I want. Blah blah blah. Okay, that's the end of my vulnerability vomit. All that to say, looking forward to sending you all and maybe to seeing you all, and maybe we can get a workout or two in while I prep. I'm excited to work with blank. I'm guessing the trainer. Why did they blank him out? Because we already saw that's Dawn. Much love. P.S. Let me know if the offer to move in still stands. Also, like that was also a big one that I noticed. Like, I guess because they hadn't spoken to this point, but Blake had told him that he can move in with them, or him and his family could move in with them in New York because they filmed in New York. That's pretty big. That doesn't say that there was no SH because this was before anything, but I'm just saying, as far as like, the initial ideas of what any of these people had about each other, um, it's like really nice. Yeah. Hey, Justin, sorry for the delay. I've been in a writing cave, and the girls, who knows, February something, and the girls are sick again. I'm told they have an immune system, but it's kind of it's in beta testing. That's a cute joke. um what a lovely that is kind of true, isn't it? Like, we're as kids, we're constantly in beta testing for everything. What a loving and generous message. Thank you. We're both looking forward to getting to know you and your family better. We're also big fans over here since before we met, and more so after. Oh, so they did meet up to this point. Okay. You've been a wonderful collaborator with B, and that means a great deal to both of us. That would be really weird if I'm gonna call him my boyfriend just because I'm like, oh, I'm thinking maybe his name doesn't need to be associated with all of this. I don't know how he feels, but if he would refer to me as A, I don't know. I don't know why like that doesn't. This is not to like put Ryan down or anything. That's just like a complete side note, like completely not even having to do with any of this. Just like the little things that I observe people do nowadays. Um, I unfortunately don't have a nickname. I always wanted a nickname, but my name is just kind of weird, and Adi does it's not me. Never been called that. And yeah, but anyways, being a stand-up person is everything, and you've been just that since day one. Thank you. You've hit the jackpot with B. She literally passes on every film and every filmmaker all the time. But one thing I know, and I speak from a deep wellspring of experience here, having her in your court behind the scenes as a creative is invaluable. I am certain blank would say the same. Who's blank that would say the same? Oh, also, my take on this, she passing on to every filmmaker in every film all the time. Again, did she sign up because of him and his wife? Was that truly why she signed up for that? It could have been. I also don't understand what that has to do with the movie, because the movie is like heavy stuff. So did she sign up because her idea was that he really liked him and his wife, Justin and his wife, Emily, and she thought they were doing like kind of a she liked the idea of doing an impactful movie, but like she did with other movies, just more about the story. she didn't think of what DV actually felt like and meant. I guess if she would take that role, could that be, or could it be that that was BS from the beginning? And she just saw him as like, oh, well, this one's weak enough. I can take over his project, or I can like dictate my way around inside the project once I'm in. But that's interesting that he says that she passes on every film and filmmaker. Also, is that true? We don't know that's true. It's like complete hearsay from Ryan. He could have just said that for, just to butter Justin up or whatever. Or it could be true. And then, yeah, him saying that having her in his court behind the scenes as a creative is invaluable, like, that's kind of a little gross to me, not gonna lie. Just the way of your first meeting or your first like text exchange and basically insinuating like you know you should want her as more than just the actress that you hired her to be, even though he by now was already kind of including her in it. Oh, so this is more Ryan. Oh gosh. Yeah, Maria, yeah, it's a challenge. I gave up on some words but get the point. It sounds more like she set herself the goal to be a certain shape, certain weight for the that film role. Yeah. Um yeah, yeah. I don't know. Which, I guess fair. Everyone has their own body image issues and body image goals and stuff. But she roped him in, that is what I'm trying to say. I guess that's what kind of feels. So I wonder if this is Taylor again, or who is this person that would say the same? Some of the like it couldn't be Taylor at this point, right? Who would say the same? Some of the greatest creative decisions I've made are in fact Blake. The same goes for blank. The acting is a small piece of a pretty astounding patchwork quilt of creativity. More than anything, I rely on her taste. Far beyond movies, I really on her taste. I rely on her taste for all aspects of my businesses. I can see that. Like, I can see that. I think we can all see that she can be a very good business marketer woman, like behind the scenes, where she's not having to say anything that's very genuine. She's good at like marketing certain things. So like with humor, she's getting his humor. She got, her humor. From the beginning, they kind of have similar humors, etc. She's good at that stuff. She should go in that direction and not in acting. It's so different. Personal opinion, at least. More than anything, I rely on her taste. Sorry, that multidimensional creative output is something I can see in both. Excuse me, of you. I'm excited for you to work together. I'm excited for Blake to crack open her creative piggy bank with someone as dynamic as you. This is gonna be incredible. Wow, Ryan wrote a lot, and we thought Justin was long-winded. And thank you for understanding what it means to me personally to have my family reunited as soon as possible. Nothing means more to her either. I can promise you. We're hardwired for keeping our family together. It's how to win us, and also how. Ew, no, don't say that, Ryan. Don't say that phrase. It's how to win us, and also how to kill us when we can't. We never split up ever. It was a huge thing. Although I don't think a relationship should be that fragile, especially like that. Having Remember Jane the Virgin, the mom. Speaking of this, um, Xiomara was like her name. I forget the actress's name. I'm sorry, but the mom had the first year, the first 6 or 9 months. I think they shot 9 months the first season. She moved to LA by herself, left her kids at home, albeit not a newborn, but left her kids at home with her husband in New York because they were located in New York. And she, for 9 months, was in LA. She would fly back on certain weekends or every other week or something, I forget, but Yeah, this was like they are able to do this so much more with their money, and uh, like sacrifice like that's hard. And not that they should or she should have, but it just feels a little entitled. um and that relationships and family shouldn't be that fragile either, but that's personal opinion. It was a huge thing for us on this film. I tried to push our start date, but Marvel booked studios last July, and blank filming was locked. Deadpool filming was locked. Let's hope this last part was, yeah, okay. Um No, and blank timing was locked. I've been frantically smashing out my third pass of the script to address structural changes, but mostly to get our budget down and shorten the shoot so I can fly back with the girls when school starts. We see and appreciate that you already moved significantly to make it work with her schedule because of the film um, she'd already committed to, which thankfully she was able to gracefully punt. She tried before but didn't share how hard. What? Okay. All this to say, I'd have your line producer's face tattooed to my perineum or whatever. If they can figure out how to start that humor, it's okay, I guess, in this case. But man, just a little dramatic. Because I mean, everyone calls Justin, like, oh, he's so over the top. If this not isn't over the top, I feel like this is over the top, even though it's a joke. It's an over the top joke. Like, um, so anyways, he'll have their face tattooed to his organ there. Can figure out how to start 2 weeks earlier. Completely understand how big an ask that is, but the perineum is one of the most nervy parts of the human body to expose to trauma. So but Ryan, you're not actually going to do that. So why even mention that? Looking forward to seeing you, and thank you again for all you're doing. I happen to adore you, Justin XO. XOXO, who's the gossip girl? Um that came out. Um he could have said something that was like more grounded in reality, like, if you get to do that, this is what it will mean to us. This is what that consequence will be, that positive consequence will be, like, my girls will have her mom back or whatever. That's what I would expect to hear, not like you're not going to say that. I like his Justin's text is, this is the sweetest. Did he write more than that? I probably would have written the same thing, honestly. Whew, that was a lot, Ryan. That was a lot. Uh, I don't know what taint is. March 29th, 2023, Lively shares with Baldoni that she had strep throat, and Baldoni offers to send her some amazing gut health protocols that help after antibiotics. Yeah, yeah, we need to talk more about gut health. Uh, Side note, my dog's vet years ago knew about, hey, feed probiotics with antibiotics for your gut bacteria, the good gut bacteria, to not completely die off as we're killing everything in this person's system. um but human doctors weren't on that and still aren't really on that. Lively responds, please. As a result, Baldoni reaches out to his board certified integrative holistic health coach and connects them. Lively shares, I want that. Lively shares that they connected, saying she's incredible. Lively later claimed in her CRD complaint that this health coach was actually a weight loss specialist, and that this was all a ruse for, oh, I missed that one, for her Baldoni to subtly fat shame her. Did she? Why is no one has talked about that? Was that really in her complaint? I've not heard in any of the YouTubers, because I got in a little later. I got in on his complaint. I didn't- What? Okay, so Justin to Blake. So happy you're feeling better. There are some amazing gut health protocols that help after antibiotics. I can send you if you're interested, but I'm sure you have a ton of that stuff. Blake, please, literally just off with a doctor now about that. This is my blank, so my body is all out of whack. Um, Justin, we'll send shortly. Would do you want to do 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. and I can book you 30 minutes or an hour. My gift either way. Booked it for 7:30. If that works for you, with your permission, I'll give her your phone number and she'll call you then. Perfect. Thank you. Sorry, been on Zooms. Thank you so much. Um, Thumbs up heart emoji. Do you mind passing along her number? I want to be sure she's not waiting on me. Sorry, just got out. She said she left you a voicemail because she wasn't in my contacts. It didn't ring, just went straight to voicemail. Oh, but we connected. She's incredible. Thank you again so much. And then emphasize that. And then from Justin to the wellness coach, Blake co-star is breastfeeding and had to take antibiotics for strep. Her second round. Whoa. Ooh, that's a lot. Could you recommend a probiotic gut rebuilder I can send her, establishing some goodwill? I'm telling her about you. This whole like man, this is like the film world. Every industry has their like technical phrases that are a little too much. Like you can just be a little bit, I don't know. This establishing goodwill in good faith, saying this in good faith or whatever, blah blah blah. It's like I feel like that's what I'm catching on to. Wellness coach, of course. Oh no, poor thing. She will want to take trifecta of the three I recommend for 3 times as long as she was on the antibiotic. Do you want me to send them to you there? This is super important as it will mess with the baby's microbiome too. We used to use a baby probiotic that was powder form that you would mix. I've taken that. My dad gave me that actually. My dad's a doctor. Not this kind of doctor, but he studied a lot about this too. Make a paste with it and put it directly on the bread. I mean, I took it in my own drinks, you know, so that when the baby would breastfeed, they would take it in that probiotic too. And I can send instructions for that also. Cool. All right. Oh, it goes along with the fat shaming. Okay. Okay. Um, Also, hi DT, welcome. Blake shows up on April 1st, 2023. Blake shows up for in person chemistry reads with potential co stars to play her love interest, Atlas. At the end of the day, Lively sends a message to Baldoni stating, "That was fun yesterday. What a great assembly of people." Why is this important? Let's see. Ha 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 ha, blank for the win. I can't wait to meet her. She's sparkly. Is that Isabella? Oh, this is Blake. And thank you and Jamie for such a kind voice note. All these voice notes, are those in the ether or I have them never expire in my phone, but yeah, I wonder if those expired. Well, things that we'll never get back. That was fun. That was fun yesterday to try on Lily for a moment. Excuse me, but mainly just to get to spend a little time with the core group. Oh wow, sorry. Whew, can't believe it's been 3 hours. What a great assembly of people. I see why you adore Jamie. He's got the goods in all the ways. And Blank is the producer I always wanted to have, but never have met. Sorry. I always wanted, but have never met. And Blank was so sweet and welcoming. It was lovely. Each of those men were so kind and giving their best. I was rooting for each of them, and it was nice to feel what a safe, open, soulful, and encouraging room you create for your actors. Excited to do it all for real soon. And then Justin loved that. Okay. Again, it creates the setup environment. Doesn't mean that SH didn't come later, but it's definitely like things to think about. The context that is important, I think. April 5th, Baldoni hires an intimacy coordinator and texts Lively to coordinate a time. And she says, cool, I feel good. I can meet when we start. And then we read this. April 7th and 8th, Baldoni shares the updated script. So, wow, that was like really fast. April 5th, and then 2 days later with Lively. Lively excitedly texts Baldoni her thoughts on the pivotal rooftop meet cute scene. Okay. Acknowledging its significance in the story. It didn't really look meet cute, did it? In the end, it was really explicit. Like, why are we talking about these things? I was uncomfortable. I might have to go get my dog. My family left. She asks if she can take a pass at the dialogue, hoping to infuse more of her voice into the character and make it more flirty and yummy. Yummy. Did she not? No, tell me she didn't say that. Tell me she didn't say that. Oh my gosh. Baldoni welcomes her input, eager to see her take on the moment and make the character hers. He waits for her notes. Okay, sometimes I just jump into this straight away, but I didn't. Just a new script coming to you shortly. We worked on a lot of the Lily and Ryle stuff to make it more playful and sparkly. Thank you for giving me my new favorite word. Talk soon. Sparkly. Things had to be sparkly with her and Ryle. Okay. I didn't see any one way or the other. So excited to read Monday. Love a sparkle pass. Um I lied. So excited to get to work on this movie. I can't wait. What? Can't wait till Monday. Already reading. My kids are gonna kill me. They've had enough of me through though for okay. Oh, because she's, like, not paying attention to them. The meet cute scene is, to me, the most important scene in the movie. Okay, sorry, I have to get my dog. She's, like, really struggling. One tiny second. Oh, boy. Jesus? Ay, okay. She's trying to come on on here. Alright. Oh, boy. Sorry about this intermission. Okay. Um, alright, so the meet cute scene is, to me, the most important scene in the movie. Makes sense because she loves her romance and all that stuff. And it is a very important scene. Uh, I guess in a way, oh gosh, sorry. That is a very important scene to kind of showcase in a movie, like try to cram in all that, you know, things that you don't see. But she saw it as a meet cute instead. Whatever. Sets the tone and needs to feel extra special. You okay if I play around with some of the dialogue to give her a bit more agency and fun and send to you? Okay, those are good words. It'll affect some of your lines too if I switch out some of hers. But anywhere, but anywhere we can amp their verbal ping pong volley. I think we'll be cooking with gas, right? Phrases that I never hear. Real, sorry, I'm out of breath. Reel that audience in and make them fall desperately in love with these two. Then, when the other shoe drops, ouch, the audience will be devastated. We can use some, all, or none of it. I just don't want to step on any toes. If yes, I couldn't agree more. It's what I tried to do in last pass and some of what I was hoping we could do together. I can only write and play with what I feel is your tone so much. First scene is most important in film. It's why I'm okay with 10 pages. We rarely get to see that in films anymore. Go play and then we can see how it feels together. But it wasn't the first scene technically, but okay. D- Again, more of like what I wish the movie would have been. Even with the sparkle word, sparkle aside, she had like that paragraph. Yeah, she was on it. Um, yeah, you're the absolute best. Thank you. And what you did inspired me. I love what you're gonna do. And then he emphasized that. I can send you my pass. Whoever Wait, are these from like Blake's side? No. Why is it emphasized? This I don't know, whatever. I can send you my pass at the roof. Oh, she doesn't have iPhone. I don't know, whatever. I can send you my pass at the roof or just read with you when we get together next week. Let me know what you prefer. If you knew me in person longer, you'd have a sense of how flirty and yummy the busting would play. It's my love language, spicy and playfully, bold, never with teeth, and him serving it back to her, he's just as important. You don't usually see both the man and the woman with such agency and humor. Anyway, I can act it out for you next week to make sure it comes through. Or I can send now. Let me know what you prefer. I don't know that was the best choice of language in this text message. And I mean, in her idea of what this Lily and what the dialogue would be. Um, that's all I can say right now. Enjoy lunch, and everyone that's going to eat lunch. Yes. Yeah, you're welcome. Oh, well, welcome, first time listener. Welcome. Um, I don't know. There's so much to that text message. Just yeah, I'm gonna have to let this sink in over the next few days, like all of us. But it just right, Uh, it doesn't seem to fit. The idea being, and I don't know because I would love to know more as far as this agency part. Because my take on when she walks into Ryle's apartment party, all like sexy and like curly hair and the outfit and all this stuff and provocative, I'm like, okay, I feel like this can happen, and it's not often talked about because it's more talked about like the victim is so helpless and so weak and so you know and kind of the victim can be played into having more agency, thinking that they do have more agency than they do, and all this. I mean, there's so many different angles and so many different ways of these types of situations and relationships. So, on one hand, I can see that, and I have no problem with the agency and all that stuff. But I also like, I remember seeing the scene, and like it, because I also songwrite, and I remember in like songwriting, you need to include as many details and make it as personal as you can, but also be aware that like you need to make it as general also, so people can relate to it, of all sorts of different cultures or different senses of humor, all this stuff. And that's what kind of comes to mind now. It's like it just the sense that the things that she had in mind like didn't seem to fit. The humor didn't seem to land. Like it almost never lands anyways, but on a general sense, like it's very specific. In the Deadpool thing, it's like very specific. Like people like that sense of humor, go there, but people who don't, avoid it. And there's plenty of other superhero movies that don't have that. So it's kind of, that's what pops into my head just as a first reaction kind of thing. Okay, sorry, was just crying my eyes out as kids and family just left for another 5 weeks, and it was a poop show. Oh, I feel sad for him. uh Justin, yes, send. It's so important to the film and can't wait to play and find it. I agree so much. Lily needs to be strong and witty and playful, very different words, and bold. That's why I wanted you. It's also one reason why I wanted to age her up. If a woman like you could fall into that relationship, then anyone could. And the more we love them, the more devastating Act 3 is. Yeah. The photo is devastating, that photo. I guess he sent a photo of his kids and stuff. So sorry to you all, but the love is, gargantuan and apparent. So he even sent, like, a photo of, like, him and his family. Thank you for saying all that, and also couldn't agree more. Act 3, that's the mission. Then he loved that. Um, but yeah, I think they were, like, miscommunicating. I think they thought they were saying the same thing, but they weren't. 'Cause it's the nuances that gets you, especially in filmmaking and, like, making a scene. It's the nuances that are so there. You can say the same that's why, like, you get a script or even lyrics to a song, you get the lyrics, and before you hear the rendition of that song, before you hear how the notes were chosen and how the melody was put together and the rhythm and the voice and the tenderness or the power of it and all the stuff, same with the movie, the actors when they read scenes, they read like the stupidest words and they can sound so moving, it's in the nuance. And I think here it kind of went a little wrong with like the words on the paper, but also the delivery and just I don't know. But maybe I'm reading into it. Definitely have my own colored lenses on. Um I'm trying not to, but I definitely have them. April 9th, 2023, Lively shares her notes on the rooftop scene with Baldoni and follows up with a text eagerly awaiting his thoughts. Happy Easter. What do you think of the pages? I'm going to skip, through mm, a lot of the stuff. April 12th, 2023, Baldoni meets with Lively at her apartment in New York. He is greeted by Lively's husband, Ryan Reynolds, who enthusiastically praises Lively's rewrites. Hours later, as I mean, so that Khaleesi, no, that was after. Okay, so we didn't get anything like in between what we said earlier and this. Um, or was that the last thing? I think that was maybe the last thing. And then she writes like, "What did you think? Happy Easter." And then, a few days later, he's at their house. And then Taylor Swift walks in hours later as the meeting is ending April 13th. Lively shares that she is ill again for the third time in 1 month. Wow, man. Baldoni asks if she would like to speak to his health coach, whom he previously connected her with on March 29th. He also offers to take it one step further by connecting her with his medical intuitive. I mean, I might be able to be behind that, but it does sound very Hollywoody, very hippie, which I don't mind, but I know people are going to laugh at him for that. Lively later claimed that the health coach was not what Mr. Baldoni had represented her to be and alleged that she was the weight loss specialist. Here we go again. They just said that. Um, Okay. And then she further claimed in the CRD complaint that this was yet another attempt by Mr. Baldoni to shame her for her body and weight. Um, although, we also saw before all of this, she's the one that said she wanted to lose weight, right? Because this is in timeline form, and I love that they did this because if you the first time it was all over the place. Like, wait, where are we in the timeline? And this is like in chronological order. Thank you, thank you so much. We thank you so much, Brian Friedman and et al. And all your lawyers. Okay, so Blake, so sorry, been at doctors all AM. I have strep again. Oh my gosh, with the sinus infection. I haven't had strep in over a decade and now 3 times in 1 month. Wow. We'll send as soon as I get home. What? Oh no. Do you want to talk to blank? You think she could help with this? Would love to. It's perplexing all my doctors. I was hoping it was COVID this time. Oh my goodness. Wow, that's a lot. And she was like, that one time, 2 rounds of antibiotics. Like, what the heck is happening? It sounds like a low immune system. And like the root cause is kind of not, you know, going, being attacked, being investigated. What was I saying? Anyways, this is what blank is for. I also have someone one step further. She's a medical intuitive. She is normally I'm sorry, I do find that funny too. She's normally booked up for months and months, but she's a dear friend of mine and can see what's going on in your body by just talking to you. I will say, I had a doctor like this, but he was, or he still is probably, an acupuncturist and a TCM, traditional Chinese medicine. And he doesn't, as far as I knew, didn't call himself a medical intuitive. But basically, yeah, he sat with me for 2 hours before our first appointment. Not kidding, 2 hours. And we went through every possible thing, like everything. And I felt like no doctor has ever known my body and my system so well. And he put the needles where he put them. And I wish that I had the money to keep going to him at that time, but I didn't. And he gave me specific teas or concoctions things, and they helped. Yeah. So it's, but I think labeling yourself or labeling someone as medical intuitive might turn people off and think other things. And yeah. Anyways, doctors call her when they can't figure out patients, talks to world leaders, etc. She's incredible. Might be too woo for you, but she is the most grounded person and a saint. Can't promise I can get to her today, but happy to try. Never too woo for me. I'm open to all of it, to it all. You have enough on your plate, though. You are so generous, but I don't want to add to it. Service is something that brings me joy. I got you. So sorry you're sick. Give me a beat. I know the feeling. I'm my friends go to personal concierge for all needs. Sometimes whether they like it or not. Yeah, I can relate to that too. Mine never like it. No one listens to my advice. And he's like, that's me talking a bit, love and prayer, or like think hands. Um, hey, just talk to blank. She can help, but needs you to fill out those forms so she can legally talk to you, etc. Do you still have them? Yes, we'll find them and sign now. I emailed you also. Sorry for the delay. I've been in bed. The good news is I'm gonna figure this out before we shoot. I literally looked into getting my tonsils out if it helped ensure this doesn't happen again. Oh yeah, yeah, that's something too. He loved all those messages. Oh, I have no doubts. I'm just sorry you're not feeling good. Waiting to hear back from my friend, but let me know if I can be help. I can be helpful with blank. I think she was just waiting on those forms. I filled them out. We're in touch. Thank you again. She's really special and thinks outside the box. We trust her with our lives. She may give you information that's opposite to your doctor, but just trust your intuition. I like that. At the end of the day, this is what we're here to talk about too. Like, trust your intuition, like, check in with yourself. Even though you might not have the medical knowledge, the legal knowledge, the this knowledge, like, get as much information as possible and really like be in tune with, does this make sense to me? So I like that's exactly how he phrased it, instead of just trust her, just trust me or whatever. He said, no, trust yourself. Baldoni on April 13th, Baldoni asked Lively to send him the FDX file of the rooftop scene she worked on. Lively emails him the file. Wow. I might have to like take a break. We're kind of halfway through. This is a lot. Baldoni and Lively text about script changes and enhancing dialogue for the role of Lily Bloom's mother, Jenny Bloom. Baldoni conveys he is happy for Lively to share her notes, but ultimately wants to run any changes by the scriptwriter out of respect. Lively agrees. Okay, hold on. ADHD took place. Let me read back. I didn't really, that did not stick at all. April 14th, Baldoni and Lively text about script changes and enhancing dialogue for Jenny Bloom. Okay. Baldoni conveys he is happy for Lively to share her notes, but ultimately wants to run any changes by the scriptwriter out of respect. Cool. Who Lively ended up working on whatever the husband, the whatever movies like in pre-production, which was interesting. Anyways, Lively agrees. In the wake of the meeting 2 days earlier, in the presence of Reynolds and their, let's say, Taylor Swift mega celebrity friend, who allegedly is Taylor Swift or whatever you want to say, who Lively describes as her dragons in a lengthy text to follow. What was the text? Sorry, I'm skipping ahead. Oh my gosh, you killing us with this. Okay, so April 14th was the text. Okay. All right. Baldoni feels obliged to text Lively saying that he liked her pages and hadn't. So this is another meeting. No, no, no. Sorry. He went there April 12th. Okay. All right. Well, there's just a lot. Um Baldoni feels obliged to text Lively saying that he liked her pages and didn't need Reynolds and her mega celebrity friend to pressure him. Baldoni acknowledges Lively's text about her dragons and apologizes for not responding right away. However, he promises to send her a more thoughtful voice note later that evening when he gets home from his plans. Okay. I like that they include that. I wonder if they included that because everyone's like, why 2 a.m.? Why 2 a.m.? But also, she literally, like, texting him at the same time, like, on not even an hour earlier. April 14th, Baldoni followed up with a voice note as promised, responding to her text about her dragons. Okay, so we all know this part. We know the voice note. Okay. April 15th, the next morning, Baldoni, ready to continue work, followed up his voice note with text message to share additional thoughts on the script. Lively responded, thanking him for the thoughtful message and promising to always do things in service of their shared goals. Um, I don't know that we read this before, right? Some morning thoughts in addition to my 2 a.m. semi coherent ramble. One of the things that's been the hardest about this adaptation and all the rewrites is playing against the source material. I've rewritten the rooftop scene so many times, and even though I've changed the movie considerably in many areas, I've kept it very close to the book in others. The rooftop is one of those scenes, which is why the last sparkly pass was a lot of fun as it started to open up the movie for me. In some part, I kept it because I remember how fun it was to read the very first time. I also know what it means to the fans, but we're not making a movie just for the fans, which is one of the reasons why I like what you did so much. You could take this as, oh, he was on the same page, on board, or you can take this, he felt pressured to say these things. Only he knows in his heart what he felt at that time. With my first two films, try to make I tried to make them self-aware as often as I could, knowing the genre they were in and what I was up against, and adding the lightness and little bit of comedy to relieve the pressure. It's the only way I found that meaningful and at times heavy material can actually be digested. That's why my documentary series about young people dying did so well. You earn the laughs and then you earn the tears. What you helped do here is push it even more in that direction, which I was missing in parts. I also acknowledge that very succinct, right? Condensed summary. The way that he phrased that might also be used against him. I think very wrongfully so, based on the time and effort and work he put in that and where that stemmed from. But I just wanted to acknowledge that because I'm sure people will say that. What you help to do here is push it even more in that direction, which I was missing in parts. The way you kept the structure of the scene while still keeping the important romantic beats was really impressive and actually adds to the sexiness and tension versus taking away from it. I do think us running it together is going to teach us a lot. If we had shot the early drafts, it could have been like eating too much rich chocolate cake. I like the messy. What? Where did that come from? If we had shot the early drafts. Oh, okay. So like, yeah, the early drafts of that scene was a little too much. Okay. I like the messiness and I like her having real agency and being a willing participant versus him just happening to her and calling out the things about him the audience is already thinking. They are smarter than the studios ever want to give them credit for. Yes, we are. Anyways, just wanted to share that. If you're feeling better, I'm around this weekend to chat in real time. We'll send that later. Thanks so much for the thoughtful message, she says. They're very appreciated. Looking forward to catching up in person. And I too promise I'll freak you out, spook you, upset you, and be an actual beast. But I can promise it will always be in service of this movie and our shared goal. But it will also always apologize. I appreciate being able to communicate openly always. I would love to see her apologize. Because, yes, we can all be mean. We can all have, very strong takes on things and it can get heated. Can we take accountability? Yeah. Brendan's Clinar casting announcement, April 20th. And that's Hollywood Reporter or whatever. What do you call it? Thing. I can't even read that. I'm not even gonna try. Article. April 20th. Also, concerns about Lively's undue influence over the film began to grow even before starting film, which we read. This was from the producer to Jamie. Uh, yeah, I can now, like, it does look a little less because we didn't hear anything about the wardrobe. Did that not happen yet? Because it was just the one scene and she's been sick the whole time. So I don't know. I wonder why they so early on, like, concern. April 21st, Baldoni meets, well, maybe because they discuss the whole like meeting and stuff. He meets with the intimacy coordinator to discuss how to shoot these scenes. It was important to him that the intimacy coordinator be a woman, of course. His note from his meeting are pictured below and later shared with Lively during one of her script writing meetings in her New York apartment. These notes would later become the basis for Lively's complaint, in which she states that Baldoni would talk about his own. Oh, okay. I mean, if she did that, really, if this is directly correlated, if this is exactly what she did, spinning everything around, that's like a lie and just, I think, illegal too, right? I mean, it's not under oath, but you're like claiming something legally. I don't know. As seen in these notes, these mentions come directly from the intimacy coordinator's notes. Okay. Ideally, these conversations would have taken place directly between Lively and the intimacy coordinator directly. Yeah, it's just this whole thing is so messy. Why did she not meet up? Why did he have to relay these? There's just so many things, so many things, so many things. So many things. And honestly, like, I think it's fair if all of us kind of say, well, good even with this, but like, where's that intimacy coordinator? And it's not fair that we need to know or hear from them directly because of the consequences that they can have over their own career and life and stuff. Um, but I do see the other side that might say, well, but these are still his notes, and how do we know it really was the intimacy coordinator suggesting that and all this stuff? I'm not even going to try to read this. Um, yeah, but it's in there. Uh, yeah, his notes on that. Okay, cool. I don't even know. Okay. In preparation, like, I just, to me, this is not a huge one. I need to see, even if they blur the person's face out, I want to see like a photo, a video of something of this person on there, or like, some sort of acknowledgement, some sort of like, the same thing like an email, but with every information, even their name blacked out or whatever. Like, I need to see that for myself as far as like proof. But we're no one. We're not the jury, right? Who are we? So it's like that kind of need. Like, I would love to see that for my own investigation. On this 22nd, in preparation for a lift sequence scene. Okay, here's the scene. Um, I don't care. So this is after he burned that first scene. He burned his hand and hit her. I don't care about my hand. Are you okay? He looks back and forth between her eyes, assessing the cut on her face. I don't know. I think, Ryle, I'm so sorry. Sorry, I'm not gonna act this out. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. He presses his mouth to Lily's and breathes her in. Lily's so upset, she starts to kiss him back in need of comfort until Ryle scoops her up, gently laying her down on the floor. He kisses her wound, a mix of blood and tears now. Clothes on Lily. And he lifted her up, I thought, in another scene too, on the counter, right? Or something. Anyways, close on Lily, closing her eyes, accepting his apology so viscerally. By the time she opens them again, it's clear she's convinced herself of one thing: it was an accident. That sounds like a very good scene. We didn't see that, right? I don't think she said it was an accident or something. Or was that Smash 2? Lily's car, Boston Park. Okay, later. I don't know. Maybe it was like an over, when they over talk. My brain's a little mush. Um, but that sounds a lot clearer. Because I remember that scene. And I was like, wait, what happened? And I had to like rewind and uh, yeah, I didn't understand that scene that much. But this like, I don't feel like it was convincing. I guess to me that she understood it was an accident, and like she was convinced by him that it was an accident, which is like I feel like very important to say in such a scene. um yeah, I would love to have my own gut doctor, I feel. Yeah. Yeah, I'm struggling finding a good doctor that's like a systemic doctor. She should have been open and honest when she felt uncomfortable. I truly believe he would have understood. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. We still don't know so much of that. But yeah. um and it seems like they had that rapport where she could have said that. So far we see that she had, in her words, the agency. I mean, the words that she used for her writing her character, but I feel like she even had that agency to speak up if something. Like, she spoke up about so many things already about her character and about things. And I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, who knows? Maybe we're just not seeing it a certain way. April 25, Baldoni was summoned by Lively to her penthouse and greeted by Reynolds, who swore at Baldoni and accused him of fat shaming his wife. Also, shame on that, um, on Don, whoever, whatever, the trainer. We can't even say it's his trainer at this point, but shame on him for saying that. For even if that was what's happening, shame on him for crossing that boundary. Yes, this isn't a therapist, but you should have at least some professional conduct that it's your client. Both of these people are your client. And if anything crosses over, like, you need to have that responsibility that you keep it separate. So that's my personal take. Unless like it's something like violent or, something like that. But yeah, whatever. How dare you effing ask about my wife's weight? What is wrong with you? The tone from Reynolds and Lively was so aggressive that Baldoni felt he had no choice but to offer repeated and completely unwarranted apologies for what was a good and reasonable question to his trainer. Um, anyway, so we kind of know about this. They've talked about this a lot. I'm gonna keep going, but um, we finally got the scene that everyone's like, "Oh, there was no scene," blah blah. And yes, that could have been written after. You can pull things apart in all the different ways, but we also need to extend good faith on if it's evidence, it's evidence, you know? It's one thing to have people's words, like all of these paragraphs. That's what I was so like critical earlier. It's one thing for them to say, "Oh, we sent this email and this is what it said," and another thing to see like a screenshot. Even you could say that it's also manufactured. Sorry. Um, she falsely states the scene wasn't in the movie, but then because they didn't want the scene, even if there was a stunt double. Um, so rewrote the scene. Baldoni was stunned by Lively's accusation, excuse me, because when Lively had earlier expressed concern about her postpartum figure in February, Baldoni generally reassured her that she did not need to worry about her body. Um, he still had 2 weeks to recast her, they said, if he could not get on board with how she works. Lively well knew at the time it would be impossible to recast her without incurring millions in expenses for a film that was already half shot. Okay. In addition to financial, when did the shooting begin? Um, Yeah, in addition to financial repercussions, it would cause the studio and Baldoni severe reputational damage, including they didn't know how bad it could get. They thought that was going to be bad. But well, I guess this is ended up good because they have all this evidence now, including their relationship with Sony, the film's direct distributor and financiers. Um, Thus began a pattern of demands by Lively and acquiescence by Baldoni. He opted to get on board for lack of a viable alternative. The line producer owned the film share. Now it sounds more like this was the snap, the weight stuff, right? Yeah, she was taking over and all the stuff. We haven't seen a lot of that besides the rooftop scene. They haven't talked about the wardrobe. This is like the wardrobe email now on April 25th. Um, Oh, this is just the concern. The line producer on the film shares concern about the ballooning wardrobe budget resulting from Lively's takeovers, stating that it was way more than she had ever seen wardrobe go over budget with the initial spend. Um, so on April 25th, line producer to blank Kyle wardrobe's budget for spending is $185,000. Normally, wardrobe overspends and then does tons of returns and ends up in budget. Our wardrobe team told me they'd spend about $500,000, but then land back at 185 once returns are done. To date, they've already spent 615,000, and they need cachet cards all replenished because sorry, they've only shopped for Justin and Blake. They had to reshop everything for Blake after creative changes, but it's a lot of money. I trust them, of course, but then to keep you all posted, all as this is way more than I've ever seen wardrobe go over budget with the initial spend. At this point, we have to replenish their cards because they have shopped for the other characters. Just keeping you all posted. They haven't shopped. April 27th, Baldoni feels homesick. His family is back in California, and it has been weeks since he has seen his kids. Lively offers to have Baldoni fly with her to Los Angeles and back for the weekend so that the two of them can continue working on the script. I mean, this is definitely like takeover. Like, yeah, fly with me so I can get more into the script. It has become both of their movie. They're both starring in it. They're both the directors. They're both the producers. They're both the screen rewriters or whatever. It's kind of what it sounds like. You can't really do that. That's a lot. It's really hard to do that, I should say. 6 hours there and 6 hours back. By all accounts, Lively feels at ease with Baldoni and is not willing, but invites Baldoni to share an airplane cabin with her and her children. Blake just offered to fly me to LA with them tomorrow at 2 p.m. so we could get 6 hours of work on the script in and then fly back Sunday and get another six. Okay, let's talk when you get here. I just got a 5-minute voice note from Emily crying about how hard it is without me. I gotta go. I'm with Blake, but at least we can actually justify it. Okay, you on your way here? No, coming at 2. Justify it. That's an interesting choice of words. When do you need to know her for certain? I'm sure we'll work it out. I just want to just walk through it also over here, just what that means. Ring me, sir. I'm on with a neurosurgeon. Oh, wow. Okay, call me afterwards. Uh, yeah, I need more time to digest that one. Justify it does not sound super great. Like justify like the expense. Is this like a private jet? I assume probably, right? Um. Oh, or wait, justify the rewrite. Okay, I'm just lost with that. I'm just lost with that. Baldoni on April 28th flies to Los Angeles from New York with Lively and her family for the duration of the flight. Baldoni and Lively work on the script. On the 30th, they return. On May 1st, Lively begins altering the script daily. The frequency of Lively's revisions and input alarms the producers who anticipate her interference would persist every day. We had this in the original one. The Writers Guild of America, WGA, went on strike on May 2nd. Lively and Baldoni text almost daily and were comfortable making silly jokes. Um, oh gosh, well played. I feel the same. Such a good feeling to get the work done. Okay, this was also included back then. Oh, this is the suppositories one. Okay. May 5th, Wayfair holds a Respect in the Workplace meeting via Zoom with the production team to review appropriate on-set behavior and other HR related matters before principal photography begins. All right, here we go. This is a standard part of pre production and employee training. However, they were already in production. Okay. Anyways, it ends with us daily prep schedule. May May 4th or April 5th, 2023, 7 p.m. All meetings are Eastern Standard Time unless otherwise noted. Okay, so 8 a.m. art department meeting in person, 9 a.m. Atlas Truck, Lily Car Show and Tell in person. Um, 9:30 a.m. Scout of Hospital, call with neurosurgeons, 10 a.m. This was like his research probably because he was a neurosurgeon. Respect in the Workplace meeting via Zoom at 12 p.m. Vegas Art meeting via Zoom at 1 p.m. Production meeting at 2 p.m. This is such a tight schedule. Wow. It's like go, 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 go. Logistics meeting part 1 to follow. May 5th, Baldoni emails the intimacy coordinator his notes on these scenes after discussing Lively's comfort level with her. Justin emphasizes that the way these are shot and what is shown will be a collaborative between Baldoni and Blake. Due to illness in Lively's family, the Vegas shoot scheduled for May 8th was canceled. Were they in Vegas? Wait, when were they in Vegas? What? Additionally, because of production delays and strikes, none of the outlined scenes were filmed during June 2023 production window. Phase 1. These scenes were all postponed to phase 2 of production, January 5th to February of 2024, which resumed 7 months later. Okay. So this is from Justin to the intimacy coordinator and Jamie. Jamie being one of the producers. The please note the way these are shot and what is shown will be collaboration between me and Blake. First love scene. Okay, and then Vegas. So, anyways, we can read this separately. Uh, I think I'm gonna kind of pause here. I'm like so tempted to keep going, but I need to use the restroom. I need to take a break. My brain is kind of losing it. I've been reading nonstop. And I'm afraid that I'll skip through a lot. I'm gonna skim through all the rest, but so page 245 if you want to go. And I'll once again, whoops, copy and paste in the chat, and I'll also paste it in the um description below. Um, you can look through this on your own. I'll be back, but yeah, page 245 is where we're leaving off. And this is the notes that I guess he's sending, like, hey, these are what is happening. But where's that collaboration between me and Blake? Where is that documentation about that? Um, I don't understand what where this Vegas thing is coming from. There's more illness. Um, and then the nudity rider, Lively's attorney is provided with a nudity rider on May 8th. Um, and okay, we kind of read this, I think, right? Yeah. And then May 12th, they work at her apartment. May 15th, share an encouraging message with Lively before day of shooting. Curious to read that. No more representative who attended the table read the day before shares a message of encouragement with Baldoni. This is like kind of cool. Man, this is so hard to read. So they did a table read where they had, what was coming in a script. You see the script, you see like all the stuff. I don't know if was it the whole movie table read. Baldoni is eager to establish a plan to ensure that the film has the greatest impact in supporting victims of DV. Yeah, like it had to be the whole film, like four no more probably. On the first day of principal photography, paparazzi capture and publish photos of Lively's character. Okay, so May 15th was her first day. Was this it says this is the first day. This is when the shooting started. Like there was nothing filmed before May 15th. It says the first day of principal photography, May 15th. Um so anything up to this point, nothing was like shot. That's my understanding. Why did I understand before that something was? I don't know. And then there's like, yeah, there's a screenshot of this one Reddit thing, you know, 2 years ago saying, never pictured this homely. They made Blake Lively look older than she actually is, in my opinion, and she's supposed to be playing younger. She looks like Mary Poppins mixed with a homeless lady, and she doesn't even seem like she'll dazzle like Book Lily basically did. Yeah, I mean, this is a terrible outfit, but okay. May 16th, Baldoni approached Lively in her trailer. This is the whole thing. Seeing her in 10, send me prayers. I'm just saying, I've been ignoring my gut. And there's a few things we need to course correct on. I'm effing tired of saying the wrong thing. Talk after. Mic drop on that. Justin, May 16th. It's like I've had enough. I've been, giving in, and then suddenly I'm like, hold on, I'm ignoring my gut feelings here. Like, no, this needs to stop. Whoo! That's on page 248. Um, oh, this is why? Why do you make it so blurry? Come on. Um, yeah, this is probably regarding that. It's probably like, "Hey, sorry," or, "This is what, took so long," or whatever. Today we got an issue start due to a late start due to a morning, meeting between Justin and Blake, which took an hour and a half. Sorry, I can't stop reading this. I said I'm gonna go, but, this was to discuss her wardrobe and look in the film. Despite starting late, we were able to catch up and make our daily blah blah blah. Tomorrow we start. Yeah, okay, whatever. That happens. May 16th, later that day, Lively texts Baldoni to request another meeting with him and the other producers to discuss wardrobe. Baldoni agrees after shooting wraps. Producer Sony, executive Heath, and producer, Sony executive Heath, and Baldoni, like these people, all of these people approach her trailer. Heath knocks on the door, invites and is invited in. Present in the room are Lively's nanny, makeup artist, and assistant. This is the whole like bursting in kind of thing. She was topless. She was not. Um, She was having body makeup removed. She was either nursing or pumping while fully covered. Lively asked Heath to face the wall while they determine a time to meet with the other producers who are standing just outside the door. Weeks later, on June 1st, okay, accuse this. Okay, this could be like, he said, she said at this point, but she had her nanny, so who's going to be asked to testify or whatever in court? Okay. And then more text. May 17th, Lively continued to share her open and unguarded thoughts on life and her character. She talked about wardrobe choices. We saw this, which to me wasn't like a big one. No intimacy coordinator was present on set for this day on May 22nd. And is this the Lively and Baldoni perform a scripted kissing scene in which their characters get engaged at the hospital. In the sequence, Lively pulls Baldoni in to kiss her. It is clear Lively was initiating the kissing. In one take, she pulls Baldoni. Okay, so this is something that we like to see. Will we see? We don't know. Um, but yeah, as it's standard when two professional actors with over 3 decades of combined working experience, this is like a dig, perform a scene in which only kissing is involved and no other intimacy, nudity, or simulated is required. Furthermore, during preparations, Lively and her attorney did not indicate in her nudity rider that she wanted an intimacy coordinator present for scenes involving only kissing. Instead, in line with industry practice, focused solely on bringing on one. So this might change for the industry where maybe it'll be more than just a suggestion or whatever. It'll be like, no, you have to have this intimacy coordinator every single time there is any kind of touching or kissing or anything. And then sees the she knew that was coming. Shoot day number 6, Lively prepares for the hospital scene to give birth. Okay. Um, and then do we have anything there? This is from that closed set. Okay, so we see like this is the crew call. Closed set. No visitors on set without prior approval. No personal cameras on set. No forced calls. And this is we don't see like who was in this, because I think on the back of this or something it should say who was actually included in showing up, what crew needed to be there, etc., etc. But yeah, please be prepared to wear a mask when working around the newborn babies. Um, cool. All right. So yeah, I'm going to cut myself off, as Justin has said in the voice note. Even though I want to keep going right now, I am going to pause. 3 hours and 26 minutes. And it's in the middle of the day too, so that makes it kind of harder. Thank you so much for everyone who's like participated, who's stayed with me through this. Definitely skim through it or read it, or just wait for me, Donna, Andy, Dave, Emily, whoever out there is going to read it as well. Read the next part. I'm going to try my best to come back and read the rest today. I Wow, this is so much, guys, so much, so much. And I appreciate so much all your um support and messages and involvement in the community. And one thing I was like thinking about last night was, I love how you guys interact with each other, which to me is new, because again, um I've not really done this, and also I've not been that involved in other people's channels like this, and I know that's like common. It's just like it warms my heart. So I just wanted to say that. I might be as cheesy as Justin as far as that. But yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys. Um 3 hours already. Yeah, appreciate you. Same, Amanda Lost and Found. Okay, cool. Thank you. This was very interesting and informative. Thank you. Take care of yourself. You too. Take care of yourselves. And at the end of the day, you know, this is just celebrity news. It affects a lot more than that. But yeah, go have some fun outside, eat food, healthy food, or non healthy food, paint, crochet, draw, play with your kids, pets, talk with each other. We all need a little break. We need our, presence in our own lives after this one. This was a long one. I've seen people go even longer on lives, but thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Happy Saturday. We didn't get the website, but we definitely got a lot of new things, basically like a website. Have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.